Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and today I got a special guest with me, Conan. Conan Neutron there. How's it going? Thank you for joining me. He's going to be helping me with a review for It Was Just an Accident there. You probably have seen this movie on a lot of best of lists recently there. A lot of people doing their best movies of 2025. Have you already made your list? Is it already done?
I did. I finalized. First of all, thanks for having me. Welcome to a brand new year, right? Brand new year of Afternoon Tune. Very
It's
exciting.
going to be 2026 is going to be the year. I don't know what
gonna
it's
be the
going to
one.
be the year of, but it's going to be a year.
It's going to be a year for sure. So I did finalize my top 25 list. I did. So instead of doing a top 10 or top 20, I do for 2024, I did top 24 of 2024. You know what I mean? And then
Okay.
top 23 of 2023. And that's a way for me to cheat, basically, and have more movies on the list. I just think it's kind of like a fun way to operate in the, what do we call this decade? It's not, there was like the 80s, 90s, the 20s? Sure,
Yeah,
the 20s.
We're back in the 20s.
The roaring 20s.
Yeah,
The
we're gonna have a
roaring
depression
20s.
like the 20s. We're gonna,
Sure,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we're off to a great start. We're deposing dictators, Okay, great.
yeah.
Arbitrary war power. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So this made, but I saw this real recently, this last week. And I was glad because I made a choice, even though especially some of the Oscar contenders, Gen Pop, like regular folks, can't really hear them, can't see them till late January sometimes.
Okay.
But also, I've realized that the way I look at it, I spend a lot of time with movies, obviously, just like you. I'm on my own show, Movie Extravaganza. And part of the really cool thing about that is when you find something really cool and you want to share it with people. I know you know this as well. And you want to turn people on to cool stuff. We've been lucky enough. We've been really early on the ball for things like Everything Everywhere All at Once, Past Lives, Sinners. We turned over Sinners that week, the week it came out, right? Which turned out to be very ahead of its time. But I've noticed that the way end of year lists work, if you wait too long, nobody cares. And I hate to put it so succinctly like that, but that's kind of was the impetus, because I was like, well, this is a solid 25 movies that I can very enthusiastically endorse. I had to kick movies that I liked off because I was like, well, I like this one better than this one, so on and so on. And so there's a few, I didn't see Hamnet, right? Okay, well, I don't know anyone that's seen that, but except for professional movie critics.
Yeah, I've seen
And
it.
maybe one or two others. But I've seen more than most, including the other people on my show. So I felt pretty good about locking it the top 2025, or top 25 of 2025. But this one was so arresting. I kicked off. I don't remember what I kicked off. I think Companion, which I liked a lot. But I was like, well, Sophie Thatcher will still be awesome later,
Yeah, yeah. You'll give her another chance. Maybe 2026. Yeah.
Exactly. She's in Heretic and Companion. Hell of the year,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should do that. Yeah. Maybe since 2025. Yeah. Maybe I should do top 25 movies there.
So
Yeah.
for me, the top, there's a huge gulf for me from about the top 10 down. But anything from 11 to 25 is almost interchangeable. But I got all kinds of stuff. And I got the Baltimoreans. I got Friendship, which are comedies, right?
Yeah.
I've got things like Eddington is in there, which I thought was fantastic. But
Yeah. I'm split on that
hardcore.
movie. Yeah.
If I had legs, I'd kick you.
Yeah. I
Intense
love
as
that
hell.
movie. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing that sucks is well, how do you judge something as politically important and taut and crazy as It Was Just an Accident versus the new Tim Robinson movie or the Naked Gun, right? It's like apples and watermelons. But ultimately, what I went down to is my overall enjoyment, and so this made it on there. I was really excited to see that you had seen it too, because I was like, who else has seen this? I gotta find someone else that's seen this, and even more excited to talk about it. I think it's a really cool movie. It's the tone. I'm sure we'll get into it, but the tonal shifts in this are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because there's some real funny kind of like farcical moments, but it is a heavy movie at the same
Oh,
time.
oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's kind of what I mean by the tonal thing.
Yeah. Well, you already mentioned it already, but I wanted to give you another chance. Let people know about what you got going on. I know you said you movie night extravaganza there, but one more time there.
Yeah, so we have a weekly show called Movie Night Extravaganza. I think it's like just about 5 years old at this point, right? And mostly YouTube, also Twitch, podcasted later for everywhere. Panel show. Myself, Forrest, Christina. I know you. We've all been on this very show, and you've been on our show, so I know you know all about it. But for the audience that maybe doesn't, we'll usually have a guest or two, and we'll discuss a movie at length in great detail. Keep it informed, but also funny and entertaining. Then there's a bit where I pull these letterbox one-liners, and then we give plugs and final thoughts afterwards. It's kind of Josh, I put it this way: it's a kind of show that I'd want to listen to. It's kind of show that I'd want to see. That's what we're always trying to do, and that's kind of how I run my life, pretty much. So we're just as for instance, we're doing Citizen Kane this next week. A little obscure little movie called Citizen Kane.
I have not seen it.
And that you really have? Oh, you haven't seen Citizen Kane? Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, for a long time, it was like tops of like the any like movie list was like Citizen Kane was number one, and then there was a backlash against it, and then which is interesting. And we're gonna get into all that. And we have people on the show, such as yourself, but also like Eileen Jones. She's like a film scholar. She's like has taught film history, stuff like that. She's gonna be on for that. We're doing Memories of Murder, early Bong Joon-ho procedural crime movie, and then we have Adam McKay coming back, the great director of things like Anchorman and Don't Look Up and so on and so on. And we were going to be Knights of Cabiria. We may be doing this movie now because there may be an audible change up. That's like real recent. That's like 20 minutes ago. I know that. And then Josh Olson from Movies That Made Me coming on for Thief later. And then we're going to be covering movies for the Oscars that we haven't already done. And not all of them, but like the ones that we like. Like I think we'll probably see No Other Choice. I'm sure we'll see one battle after another. So on and so on. But that'll be coming up, Movie Night Extravaganza. I also do a show that I've done for 11 years now called Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal, which is my music show. It's usually a one-on-one music interview show and podcast. It's streamed live and then podcasted later. And if you're into, you have Pincus from the Butthole Surfers up there. By the way, appeared in Stranger Things, the end of Stranger Things. I was like, hey, that's a Butthole Surfers song. They're playing Human Cannonball.
That. Yeah, didn't,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's been going for a long time. So if you're into, music stuff, that's all there. It's been around for a while. It's very distinguished in its field. And then what I would consider the main thing I do that's not doing stuff on the internet is I'm a band called Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. We had a heavy year of touring this year. Went all over. Went to Japan. That was amazing.
Nice.
It was like one of the coolest things I've ever done in rock and roll. Put out records, tour. We're going to be on tour for the vast majority of March and April, but I can't say what it is just yet because it's not announced, but it's super cool. And that's something where, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. There's a pretty vast discography at this point. It's on like Apple Music, Spotify, wherever, YouTube, whenever you listen. We have the last video is kind of noir themed. So, which actually coincided well because in November for Noir-vember, we did a bunch of noir movies. So, one of our songs that's Wild Antics. That's directed by Mark Borchardt. Do you know American Movie? Josh, have you seen that?
American Movie? I think I've heard of it. Maybe
it's pretty rad. Anyway, he's the subject of American Movie. He's a filmmaker himself, kind of legend amongst freak nerd and weirdo movie people. But yeah, we tour, we make records. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. I wish I could break the news on your show, but I have been sworn to secrecy. But it is in my world, it is very cool. Let's put it that way. I'm looking forward to a good spring.
Very nice.
And I think that's enough, right? Yeah. That's enough.
Very nice.
So that's me. Sorry, we don't have any more time, but you've been a lovely audience.
Yeah, Protonic Reversal, Movie Night Extravaganza, Conan Neutron there, and your band there, which people can find
Neutron, The Secret Friends. That's the background that I have here right
All right.
I'm also an accredited critic too, movie critic. I keep forgetting to mention that. Forrest has in the intro of the show, but
Yeah. And then what
doesn't
part
really-
of
doesn't really
are
mean
you
much.
part
I
of?
get anything for free.
Do you vote on things like in your state at all, being part of a critic association, or?
Film Independent, the Independent Spirit Awards.
Okay.
I'm a voting member of that. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, that's great. I'm happy to be a part of that. I think the Independent Spirit Awards are amazing. It highlights a lot of stuff that otherwise would fall by the wayside and kind of get lost in the shuffle. But yeah, that's where I'm at, which ain't nothing. You know, I'm glad to be. Look, I would definitely be part of any club that would have me as a member, unlike Groucho Marx.
Yeah, I always wondered, how you get into those things. I've been trying to get into a critic association myself. There, I
know a guy. I know a guy.
Okay, you know a guy. You know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Very mafioso there.
Hey, forget about it.
But yeah, but that's very awesome. So you got a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna be touring there pretty soon. That's pretty awesome there. But yeah, I'll make sure to put all your links in the description below when I upload the video there. And like I said, been a fan. I always pop by the streams there, movie night.
You do. You're a great supporter of the show, and we probably bust your balls entirely too much.
No, I like my balls bust there.
You're a good sport, and we will have you on the show again, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully, unless something happens, like I said.
Yeah, maybe.
2026.
I mean, God, have you seen the news lately? A lot can happen. Boy.
Yeah. But yeah. Future of the show. So future streams there. Later today, I'm going to be joined by Chris from the Black Stubbs podcast. Speaking of Stranger Things, he's going to be helping me review Stranger Things season 5.
Did you like it, or are you saving that for the stream? Just tell me if you liked it or not.
It was left a lot to be desired, I would say.
I felt like the last season, peaks and valleys. There's some that I really liked, and some that I was like, come on, what are we doing? But I did like the end. I liked the last one. I thought the last one was good. But I think there was a lot of valleys this season for me, frankly.
So
I feel like Stranger Things is kind of a B show. Like it presents like an A+ show, but it's kind of like a B show. You know what I mean? Where it presents as prestige. It's not prestige, and that's fine. But like I think people give it too much credit. It's cool, but it also like it we're not talking about that. I shouldn't get too into it. But I think Stranger Things, ultimately, okay. I'm not sad I watched it. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So you're not like a big fan. You're not wearing a Hellfire Club t-shirt.
No. I mean, yeah. And like, look, man, they're right. Like half those kids look like they should be, like thinking of getting letters from the AARP, like it's like, what's going on with this? But I think there's a lot to like with Stranger Things. I think it does a vibe very well, and that seems to be enough for people.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum. I like the last episode, but there was stuff this season that was like, am I going to continue watching this? Because I feel like this ain't it, son. But also, I'm also not a big. I've become less of a TV watching guy or streaming show guy, except for like some exceptions. Like I love Severance. I liked Alien Earth. Okay, I thought Alien Earth was good. I kind of had
you watch Pluribus or no?
I like Pluribus. Yeah, I think it's good. I think that Fallout's good. Again, that's a good show. It's good. There's a lot of good shows, but is there a lot of great shows? Not really. I mean, not my opinion. I think those are few and far between. But I'm more of a movie guy than a show guy, even though I've just spent 20 minutes talking about TV shows, right? But I have specific tastes, and I wouldn't expect everyone else to follow those tastes. Yet, if asked. Like, for instance, so Brian Fuller did... What's that? Dust Bunny, right? He did this movie, Dust Bunny. But the thing about him, he did that show Hannibal, which is amazing. That show was fantastic, and somehow was on network TV. And you got to wonder if they knew what the hell was on their station, because like they pulled off some crazy stuff with that, and they pulled off a major coup in the fact that one of the most iconic villains of all time, Hannibal Lecter, you had Mads Mikkelsen portray him totally differently. I thought that was really cool. Pushing Daisies in the show we did was really good. So I mean, there's always like stuff that's super cool. I think Stranger Things gets too much credit somehow. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's like Netflix is like the big gorilla in the room, right? But Alien Earth, I thought was I agree. First season's great. Alien Earth, I wanted to love that so much because I love Noah Hawley. I love Fargo, the TV show. I really love Legion. I think Legion's amazing. But Alien Earth, I was like, that was pretty good. There's some great moments in it for sure. But I think I set my expectations a little too high.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of mixed on Alien Earth. I didn't really like it all that much either. Yeah. But
it had so much promise. Like, there's a lot of cool things about it, but it's also just like, okay, that was fine. Like, if it had just been, hey, here's this thing, that would be, oh, cool, that was a cool thing. But the fact that it's like knowing that it was the creator of these other two shows that I just think are like a cut above, it was disappointing by comparison. Yeah. Were you a Pluribus guy? Did you like the Pluribus season?
Yeah, I love Pluribus. Yeah,
I thought it was good.
It seems like the shows that people really love the most this year, Pluribus and Pit. People seem to love those.
The Pit, yeah, I'm not that genre. The sort of ER, like that kind of doesn't really do it for me. I don't dislike it, but it's not my genre. Maybe is probably the better way to put it. In the same way that I was never like a Law and Order guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like, all right, I get the appeal for it, but it doesn't do it for me. But I hear it's really good. I mean, it's got the cast is great.
Noah Lyle, I think it's his last name.
Noah Wiley, and then
Noah
it's also
Wiley.
got the guy that's in the scene with him too was in Animal Kingdom, the show, not the movie. The movie's great, but the show is actually really good too. I mean, it's just got a lot of like good. I'm sure it's good. I know people that are obsessed with it, like lots of people that are obsessed with it. Frankly,
I've seen the first episode. The first episode, I mean,
did you like it?
I mean, I'll watch more of it, but it seems like, okay, like in medical shows, there's always like the types. It seems like they have the types. So I'm wondering, as the show progresses, will it evolve into anything more than just them being the types?
So that's interesting because I think, so I'm with you on that, like the archetypes and sort of like, here's like this type of character, here's this type of character. And for folks, I would go ahead and say like me, but probably like us, we kind of like it when that's upended or when that's changed around. Like Murderbot's a good example, right? That Apple TV show. That was great. And I thought it had a silly name, so I wasn't going to watch it. But it's like, oh no, it's Alexander Skarsgård, but this is really interesting and funny. Like, I like it when the expectations are upended, when things are challenging a little bit. But I think a lot of times when people are watching, whether it's a police procedural or medical procedural or something, they kind of want that familiarity. Like, I like the show House, but if you watch a bunch of episodes of that in a row, you're like, all right, they got a formula. This is like, they're just, all right, they're doing the thing. Now this is going to happen. Now that's going to happen. And it's kind of apparent. I mean, a lot of stuff I named. Severance, right? That's like, what's going on with that show? I mean, who the hell knows? I don't think they know what's going on with that show.
Yeah. Hopefully, shows like that, hopefully it ends good. Because a lot of the mystery and where it's going to lead to a conclusion, you don't want to get. Well, I never saw Lost, but I already know.
I was going to say like Lost. Yeah. Oh man,
people.
That when I tell people, and people that like love Lost get really mad at me when I say it. So I say, people are like, "Oh, should I watch Lost?" I'm like, "Watch the first season and then stop and never think about it again." And then people are like, what? I was like, wait, think about it. Because it was kind of like this gradual, this sort of like decline and got like silly and more obtuse. It's kind of one of the worst endings everything's Game of Thrones, frankly, in my opinion.
Yeah. But yeah. But
because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't know how to land the plane.
So you think it's
ironically. Get it?
So you think if a show has
crash on an island, everybody? That's the joke. Okay.
So if you think of a show has like a bad last season but they had great previous seasons, do you think it's just not worth it to finish it if it, even begin the show?
So movies and TV shows, I feel like people remember the ending, and that will color your experience of the whole thing. And for me, like whatever, that's a kind of extreme example of like just watch the first season and don't watch anything else, because obviously there's good stuff in there, but there's also situations where You know, is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know. You know, that's not for me to say.
Yeah. Because it's always made me kind of wary of watching like Sopranos. It's like, well, I heard the ending's kind of weak. Do I really want to go through all that? And
The ending's ambiguous. I wouldn't say it's weak, but some people don't want ambiguity. They want all right, good example, 6 Feet Under, great ending, like one of the best endings of any TV show, I would say. But like the ending works too because of the nature of what the show is, how they do it. But it's perfect for that show, and it's a great ending. You know, I think the end of Twin Peaks. I think the Twin Peaks: The Return ending is great. And I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, what the, you know. Like I was like, but that's like anything with David Lynch, like where it's like, what are we doing? What is And then you're like, oh, actually, that was kind of cool. Like you go back and like think about it, and you're like, actually, I kind of like that now. But I mean, I saw that at the time, and I was like, what? What are we doing? And then I was like, okay, now I dig it. But that's kind of a rare example because I don't think people, especially in TV, even quote unquote prestige TV, put that much thought into it, frankly. There are exceptions to prove the rule, right? But I don't know. Most and this is why, and granted that happens with movies too, but I think the streaming era has made it so there's a lot more of everything, and all you got to do is be just okay.
yeah, I guess this is abundance of everything.
It's abundance.
Yeah.
So there's going to be more of like the things that are amazing, and there's going to be a whole lot more of the stuff. It's like, yeah, that's good. It's fine.
Or just mediocre to bad, or
yeah. Just, I mean, you know, watchable. Like they made the term second screen entertainment. You know, where they assume you're on your phone or an iPad or something, just dicking around while watching. That's so offensive to my sensibilities. It's not even funny. Well, it's a little bit funny, I guess, but
you've never like looked at your phone a little bit while you're watching streaming a little bit?
Of course I have, but it's not like something that like something be designed to do that is like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Is like building into like that just abhorrent social trend.
Yeah.
So, like, as for instance, tonight's movie, it would not be second screen entertainment. First of all, you got to read the damn subtitles, right? Yeah. So hopefully you're not looking at a second screen. You're missing a lot if you are. And also, I feel like it's really engaging, even if you don't really know where it's going. It's like, oh, like I was never bored on this movie ever.
Yeah.
But it's also like, what? Okay. Speaking of, what are you doing? The whole time you're like, what are they doing?
I guess that's a good segue into it. Might as well just get into it now, then.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I took us down the wagon train for streaming television, but
that's all right. Our first review of the day is going to be for a film called "It Was Just an Accident." "It Was Just an Accident" is a Persian film there from an Iranian director there by the name of Jafar Pahini. I believe is how you say his name. There, he's one of Iran's best known directors there, and this movie very much criticizes a lot of the Iranian regime there. Like what this movie does, because the premise of this movie is you have a mechanic there who gets a visitor into his shop, and then he notices something about the visitor. He hears a sound, and the sound of a squeaking prosthetic leg. And when he hears that, he immediately thinks like, this is the person who held me captive in prison and was one of the people that tortured him while he was in prison. So he ends up kidnapping the guy. And then before he does anything to the guy, he wants to ensure and make sure, because he never saw the person's face. The people that he tortured and were in the prison were always under a blindfold, and they were just made to, hear the like different sounds and also feel his leg and everything like that. So they actually never ever saw him. So he has to confirm his identity of the torture and kidnap before he actually does anything. And he also goes around to all these other different people who also were under imprisonment, who also encountered this person to confirm that. And just it's about like, what is going to happen What decision are these people going to make with this person? Do they even have the right person? And asking questions about morality. Would it be right to kill this person? Would it be right to, even torture him, do upon him what he did upon them? Ask a lot of those different questions there with that. Now, this movie did play in theaters for a little bit. It had a short release. I missed it in theaters, but I was able to catch it on streaming. It's on streaming, but you have to rent it. You have to pay to rent it. I saw it. I saw it on Apple TV. I rented it there. I don't feel bad about my purchase. $10 to rent it. So
I think it's totally worth it myself. Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So Conan, what are your thoughts? It was just an accident.
Yeah, it's this. I'd heard a lot of really good things about this one, and you know how it is. Sometimes like the hype gets too much, and you see it, and you're like, that was all right, but like you don't. It's not the same as when you see something that's blown away. But this was absolutely warranted. I think this was incredible. I think that there's moments over there that are very funny, very farcical, that are very almost screwball comedy. And then there are moments that are so freaking heavy and they're so like, oh my God, this is like so intense. And you alluded to it in your description, where the idea is like, okay, when you're in a position of deciding the fate of someone who took away your own humanity, and do you lose what is left of your own humanity to achieve justice? Crazy. I mean, it's super intense. Like it's something where it's a moral quandary, and it's earned. And we were talking about, I was talking about in TV shows about, we'll go ahead and charitably say things that didn't stick the landing, right? I think that the ending it's so crazy and so just you don't know what's going to happen. And in a good way, and like that's a compliment in this case, right? And it's something where I've seen a lot of movies, and I don't think I'd ever seen something quite like that. And it's the way it's shot, the way it's composed, the lighting is incredible. It's I got to be careful about giving too much away for people that haven't seen it, but it's pretty damn good, and it's not like anything I've ever seen exactly, which is saying a lot.
Yeah. Like you say, you mentioned before the review of you don't know where this is going to go. You don't know what decision that these people are going to make. And you have all these people who have all these kind of differing opinions in this group. You have the photographer woman who she's kind of, she's angry at him for, this person for what he did. This possible person if he is the guy, but also she's kind of balanced. Like, do we want to do this and lose ourselves and we'll be just like him? But then you got another guy, it's the Freddie Mercury looking guy, kind of the guy with the mustache there.
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
Who, he's angry from the start. He's just like, let's fucking just do it. Let's kill him right now. Let's bury him. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, you people fucking around. Like, I want to do this now. And they're trying to like reason with him there to make a group decision at least. So I think you have that kind of all this different dynamics and all these people who have these different outlooks and views. And I think that's balanced really nicely as well. And you mentioned some of the comedy aspects of it too. There's kind of a moment at a hospital, which is some of the comedic aspects of that where they're bickering about that. I think that's kind of funny as well, how they're able to bring in that in this kind of, like you said, very bleak, dark film there about this very serious subject matter. I thought that was also really, really great there.
Yeah, I think it's rare to be able to do both those things well. You know what I mean? Like there's, I mentioned the fact that top 25, I've got serious dramas and I've got comedies on there. And how do you judge one against each other? And I think it's just something where it's an incredible tonal balance. And then that is just like the movie itself, as opposed to even telling the story of how this guy just trying to get this movie made, which is crazy because you talk about movies aren't easy to make in general, but Iran, Jesus Christ, that's intentional, by the way, me saying that. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. And again, I want to be careful. I think some stuff gets lauded because the story behind it is so interesting. This movie is in itself very interesting. Also, not as long as I thought it was going to be, too. It gets a lot done in like kind of like a shorter amount of time than certain other movies that I will not name.
Hour and 40 something minutes.
Yeah, great.
So good runtime there. I mean, like you said, it's not super long or anything like that, and it gets so much done in that period of time. And seeing him to go around to all these kind of different people, talking with them about this, about what they want to do, and ultimately, like I really love those kind of things. It's not handled in a hammy way, in a corny way at all. There about somebody pondering like, what is life and what should we do and who are we, God? I think it's handled in such a very realistic way. I think also with a lot of these discussions that's being had.
Absolutely. Well, and that's something that's a really good point because I was talking about like things that are formulaic, right? I feel like Star Trek: The Next Generation, I love it, but there's definitely all right. So they're doing the like, do we violate the Prime Directive? Like okay, I get it. How many times have we seen this? And in a way that can be comforting for people as well. But this is not. I've never seen anything quite like this, and that's saying a lot. And it's all the more impressive considering the condition it was made under. But I think it does something real special.
Nice. And did you hear of this director before? Did you have any knowledge of this guy before?
I was familiar with the movie he did before called No Bears, in the fact that I knew about it. And I haven't seen it. It's gonna sound terrible. I thought it was just like gay cinema, like it was. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh yeah, I got it. I'll check that out. That's awesome representation. I'll check that. And I just kind of forgot about it because I just didn't. The name didn't stick with me.
And that's the director right there. That's the guy.
Jafar Pani, right? And I hear it's great. I mean,
and that's the same guy, I think, from Iblis.
Yeah, and I'm. Having seen this, I'm absolutely going to go back and like watch No Bears. Like I think that's yeah. I mean, I'm down for anything this guy does. Like I just think like again, there's things that you wouldn't expect that happen in this, and I like to be surprised. I like to be challenged, doubly so if it can if you can attack. Not attack's the wrong word. If you can approach and engage with heavy topics and have that nuance and bring something new to it, great. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And I appreciate this movie. I always like to learn about new directors, especially other countries making films there. So I appreciate this movie being on my radar and watching it and making me aware of this guy, and then seeing this movie from this area there. And the performances across the board, all really wonderful, all really terrific there.
And I didn't know any of the actors or actresses. Did you?
I have not seen them before. No.
Yeah, wasn't familiar with any of them. They were all great, every one of them. Even like the dude that was like the total wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great too. Like they were all. It's so lived in. Like it feels like you're almost like watching a documentary, if that makes sense. Even though it doesn't feel like a documentary at all.
Yeah, because
that's impressive.
Yeah, you get in these moments with these people, and just like they're just regularly, they're having an average day, and all of a sudden this guy pulls up with this crazy shit in a van, like, hey, this thing is gonna happen. Like you have one, there's like a couple who's taking wedding pictures, and then all of a sudden they get dragged in. You have this woman going around everywhere in her wedding dress.
She's in her wedding dress, dude. Did you love that? I thought that was so like what a great visual. That she's in her wedding dress, like running around trying to figure this out. Like it's so insane. It's so insane. And then you have situations where they're like literally bribing people to like, hey, pretend like you didn't see anything, right? And like the way it's done is just so I don't know, man. There's something real that was just I have never quite seen before on it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Can you name? I was trying to think of something. I can't think of really any real negative about this movie. Really, I was trying to think of something. I really watching it and afterwards reflecting on it. I was like, no, I think it's just really great all the way through there.
Well, and it's funny because like okay, and that's where the whole like rating system comes into it. Oh, what is a 4-star movie versus a 5-star movie? Because sometimes like things will change too. Like sometimes like you'll get the further you get away from them, the more you're like, whatever. Like that's how I feel about Fantastic Four, right? I thought it was great at the time, and then I was like, was it? That's fine. And sometimes you're like, you spend time away from a movie and you can't stop thinking about it, and you're like, oh my god, that was crazy. That was like so, and so it's such an arbitrary thing, but I see why it's one that everyone's talking about, and they're talking about not just for Best International, but at least getting a nomination for Best Picture, and I think it's warranted. Like I think that this is. I'm sure Christina's not going to watch, but like this getting a nomination over Wicked Part 2, great. I would be all for that. I think it's totally deserved. But again, they're totally different movies. They're doing totally different things. And there's something to be said for something that's just entertaining as well. But this is doing a lot, and that's without even considering the story of how it's made, which is also fascinating as well. But I mean, that's also not. That shouldn't be the be all end all. You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be like you get a leg up because of that. But it is. I mean, it'd be
no pun intended.
Foolish. Yeah. Well done. Yeah. I think it's amazing, and I'm with you. And usually, like, there's a couple international movies this year where it's like, yeah, that was cool. You could shave about 40 minutes off of that, and it probably would be better. This is good. I mean, it's something like where I can't think of any notes, Yeah. Because even the things that are like lower budget or whatever, it works perfectly for what it is. And that's great. That's freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's deeply impressive, and that's something where I don't know. Like if you're someone that is into, like people, I've heard it discussed where people talk about being challenged versus being entertained, and how some movies can do both, and some absolutely can't. And I think that's this is the rare movie that kind of does both.
Yeah, I think for best foreign film, international film, it's probably going to compete heavily against No Other Choice. And in my mind, I'm just like, I could see either one winning. I think both are really great. So it's tough right now. But yeah,
I love No Other Choice. I'm a huge Park Chan-wook fan. We've covered The Handmaiden, Movie Extravaganza. That's a favorite of mine. We've the Vengeance trilogy, Old Boy is obviously very well revered. I think Decision to Leave is one of the most underrated movies of the 2000s, the 2020s, the 20s. And I think No Other Choice is absolutely a movie of our time, and I wish more people could see it. I wish more people could see it because it's for whatever reason. Yeah, the American audiences haven't like vibed with it yet. I hope that changes. There's still time for that. But yeah, if it came down between those two, wow, that's two amazing movies like in deep contention. That's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? Like that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. The only issue I have maybe with it is maybe the ending. I think maybe the ending is for some people might not be wholly satisfying. Yeah, a little too ambiguous there. Some people like a little bit more closure.
Sure.
But that may be the only issue there with it that I kind of see with it. But yeah, I think this is a phenomenal film. I highly recommend people check it out. I could see definitely it's going to be nominated for Best Picture, Best Foreign Film there, Best International Film. I could see it definitely going to be nominated there with the Oscars for that. Amazing performances across the board there. I know. Are they introducing that new category, the best cast or best ensemble?
Yeah. I think that's the first time this year, right? And this is a strong contender for that as well. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out because we've never had that one before.
Yeah,
and so it's like, okay, that's people are talking about Sinners and One Battle After Another both I think have great casts, so that's great. But I think this is this is the images like you're in the desert, this crappy looking van has like and you got these there's a dude in a like without a suit jacket but like dressed up for something, and a woman in a wedding dress. You're like, what the hell is happening? What is this? I look at that poster, I'm like, I don't know what this is about. Like, whether they have an accident in the desert, what? And then, like, you think about it like in very, it's like, oh no, there's way more than that.
Yeah, because I didn't know what this movie was about going into
Me
it.
too. Yeah,
I didn't know anything about it. I saw the poster, and then I was like, oh, did somebody like break down or something like that?
Yeah, that's like the first thing you think of, right? It's like, oh, they must have had a breakdown in the desert. That sucks.
Yeah. So
I thought that happened. Blowed.
and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what this is about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give this strong peak, bordering on this is cinema for me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm with you. I think I might revise my rating up, frankly, because I think I gave it out of 5 stars, I gave it 4 stars, which is my initial impression. But I've been thinking about this like kind of nonstop since I saw it. So I think I might bump it up some, which is it's saying a lot. Like I said, I already locked my list, but this would be bumping it up a few places, right? And it's mostly arbitrary after 10 anyway. But I'm looking forward to seeing how regular folks can see it without paying money to see it. You know what I mean? Because I think it'll have a whole different audience that kind of connects with it. And I gotta imagine it's going to be real important for anyone, that has Iranian roots or, that ancestry or, anything along those lines. But that's not necessary. It's just a good story. It's well done. It's under 2 hours. What? Jesus. Again.
Yeah. But I gotta read
carefully.
Though. I don't know. Read.
That's the thing. Some folks they can't do subtitles. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Some people can't read fast like that, man. It goes by too fast. I can't.
But it's not like rat-a-tat dialogue. It's not like Blue Moon or something where it's like, you're gonna miss a witty rejoinder or something. It's I don't know. I think it all works really well. And the economy of storytelling is impressive as well. And I thought it was almost better. Do you agree? I thought it was almost better when I didn't know anything about it. I was like, I don't know what this is. Sure, let's throw this on. Because it's just sort of there's a couple moments where what are we doing here? Like what is this? Yeah. Especially early on, we're like, whoa, premature burial. Okay.
Yeah. And there's some stuff I was like, I was like, as it's going along, I was like, okay, like you said, like, where is this going to go? Because like I said, I didn't know anything coming into it. I didn't know the story at all. And I was like, okay, what is this all going to delve into? When it gets revealed, it's like, oh, okay, gotcha. So that makes a movie sometimes better if you don't know.
I agree. I agree with you. And I think there's also, the Hitchcock bomb in a room thing. Like there's that here. Yeah. Are you familiar with that? Where it's like the whole
whole like idea, Chekhov's gun, kind of like that.
A little bit. It's like the audience is in on something that the characters are not. Which is to say, like when they're driving around, like say they're at the gas station, we know something about what's in that van, but the people at the gas station don't. And then you have the added stress of like, oh, this guy's looking for a bribe, or this guy's everyone seems like they're looking for a bribe in this movie, man. I got a terminal. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Sure, how much?
Did you ever see that movie, Secret Agent? Did you see that movie?
Oh, yeah, Wagner Moura. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it just reminded me of like what you just said because it's the scene at the beginning of the movie where the cop is like, he's clearly like, okay, well,
it's like,
yeah.
We have what was the Policeman's Association or something like that.
Yeah, Policeman's Ball or whatever.
It was like, how about cigarette? Okay, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I like Secret Agent. I think there's like 3 movies worth of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I think it was long, but I think it did something. I appreciated it, and I liked it. That made me my list as well. But I think that it wasn't as tightly focused as this.
Yeah, I agree.
And I guess that's the point, right? He's kind of going for a vibe. Also, like, I think that movie's better if you know that like it's not James Bond. Because you're like the secret agent. Oh, okay. Well, he's gonna be running around doing spy stuff. No, not really.
Yeah. But
So that's better if you do know that that title sort of like meant ironically or satirically or whatever, right? Because the whole time I'm like, when's he gonna start doing the spy stuff? It's like just working a job. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that.
but
So what's this? The Sims? Anyway, go ahead.
but yeah, I mean, you and I both love. It was just an accident. I gave it a strong peak there. I think with your rating at 4, you gave it what 4.5, 4 stars on Letterboxd?
Yeah, it's probably I'll probably bump it up to 4.5, and I'll probably try to see it again. I would say the rental expired, so it's gonna be a little while. But like when
Don't
it
you hate
hits
that when they
streaming for
do
real,
when you watch it and
I
then it's
do.
the 48-hour thing? Like, why the hell do they do that? I'm like, come on, like,
Money. That's why
Yeah.
they do it. They're
Oh,
trying to get
yeah.
that money.
soon as
But
you
I will
start it,
absolutely watch this again for sure. And I think it's impressive enough that I'm going to go back and watch No Bears as well when I
Okay.
get the chance. And like whatever else this guy does in the future, I'm on board. Like it was one of the nicest. Like No Other Choice ruled, but I love Park Chan-wook. Like I love like all of his movies. I think they're all, other than Old Boy, underrated.
I still need to see it. So I saw, Old Boy and No Other Choice. I'm gonna go and watch Decision to Leave because that's on Hulu, and then I'm gonna watch The Housemaiden because that's on Prime. So I'm gonna watch those nights. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch those.
That's great. I think you'll have a great time. They're all kind of different, you know.
Yeah.
That Decision to Leave for me, that kind of feels like his Hitchcock movie. Not to
Okay.
invoke Hitchcock a second time, but like in a good way. And The Handmaiden is
I don't know anything about either of the films. Really, I don't know anything.
good.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
Handmaiden pulls this is all I'll say. Handmaiden pulls a switcheroo about halfway through, and you're like, oh
Okay.
wow.
Somebody, I think I heard somebody talking about it once with Decision to Leave, and I said, "Oh, is it kind of like Zone of Interest?" And they're like, "No, it's not like Zone of Interest." I mean, not Zone of Interest. I'm sorry, not that one.
Okay.
What was that movie? With the woman, she got accused of killing her husband.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Anatomy of a Fall. Yeah, I was like, "Is it like that?" And they're like, "No, it's not like that." Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, if I say too much, it'll kind of spoil some stuff. But it reminds me very much of Hitchcock as a compliment.
Okay.
And in a way, I think No Other Choice is kind of Hitchcockian as well. Like it's kind of like seems to be him, and I think Jordan Peele's kind of got some Hitchcock in him as well. But he's also kind of like pulling some Steven Spielberg stuff, like classic Spielberg. But it's been interesting because like the first thing I saw from him was the Vengeance trilogy, not even Old Boy, but like Mr. Vengeance, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, and then Old Boy. It's a Vengeance trilogy, and I did not see Old Boy. Old Boy is like one of the last movies I saw, of him, which is kind of the opposite of what most folks have gone. Most folks have kind of gone from Old Boy on, but I think he's a fascinating filmmaker, and like in the international community, kind of underrated. And so I really hope No Other Choice gets. I mean, I'm sure it'll get nominated for international because this time they're actually putting it up. They didn't even put up Decision to Leave, which is stupid. You want to lose? Okay.
Man, yeah, but
dumb.
he's kind of. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool that he was a former critic. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was him and Kogonada too. That's another one who was like started off as a critic in like the modern. I mean, like there's like the Cahiers de Cinema, like Godard, and all of them were critics, the French New Wave people. But yeah, that's that's encouraging for folks like us, right?
Yeah. And he started his first movie at 36. So hey,
Yeah.
that's
It's late period creative successes. He's someone that I got a lot of time for. I got a lot of time for anything Park Chan-wook, and it's Jafar Panahi. I mean, I kind of feel the same way now. I used to feel that way about Celine Song, Materialist. I liked it the best out of everyone, but I didn't love it. I thought it was only okay.
Well, she's only made 2 movies. I mean, that's it. Just
I
2.
loved Past Lives so much. We love Past Lives, all of us. We loved it so much that we were like, new Celine Song, putting it on the docket. No one had seen it, and then we're like, oh.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, yeah, because I love Pat. It was one of my favorite movies that year, and then I was like, so excited for Material, even though I wasn't hyped on the trailers. And I saw the movie, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
And it's fine, but it's like, helps built up because you're just like, that ruled. That was awesome. Like whatever the Daniels do next is going to be tough because they did everything everywhere all at once, you know? And it's like, oh man, that movie kicked ass. Like what are they going to do next? I don't know. Maybe it'll be as good. Maybe it won't be. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you say? Do you think she was trolling? She said that Ella McKay was her favorite movie of 2025. You think she was trolling?
Celine Song said that?
Yeah. I don't know if she was trolling or not. I don't know. Maybe I got clickbaited, or maybe somebody was lying.
Yeah, that would be one person that feels that way.
Yeah. So.
I mean, and peace and love, James L. Brooks, man, he's got some bangers in his filmography, but that is not one of them.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, because I think this is pretty reliable. I mean, Film Updates usually is pretty reliable, but
what does it say? Celine Song names Ella McKay is one of her favorite films of 2025. Well, you know, the whole thing is interesting. James L. Brooks, so he had a distinguished career as a director for sure. Broadcast News being one of like my favorites, right? But Broadcast News is brilliant. It's an amazing movie, and it's so prescient. It's prescient in the same way the network is, without being like that. But also The Simpsons, you know, little obscure television show called The Simpsons. So there's some scuttlebutt that maybe there was some quid pro quo going on for Ella McKay gets the big push. We get another Simpsons movie.
Yeah. And she said impeccably, too. Impeccably written and joyfully directed Ella McKay.
Do we need her to like hold up a newspaper? It says what the date is. Is she being held hostage? What's going on here?
Well, I think he named her movie his favorite movie. So I don't know. Maybe it's like
maybe they're just,
you know, like, okay, well, I got to be nice and name your. If you're gonna name my movie, then I'm gonna name your movie.
I mean, it's not the worst movie of the year, but it ain't the best either. That's wouldn't even. I'm gonna be in the top 100. my taste.
Yeah,
that's the fact that movie exists is just befuddling, but like it's a mess, man. It's a mess of a movie. Anyway, I don't love talking that trash though. I really don't. I like repping like for cool stuff.
Yeah. You don't want to be like Quentin Tarantino.
I know, right? Exactly. He hasn't said anything controversial, has he? I've been logged off for the past 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, hey, always saying something, man. Quentin Tarantino.
Exactly.
But thank you so much, Conan.
Yeah, man, pleasure. Anytime. Love being on with you. I think the movie's great. I hope your audience takes spends the $10.
Yeah.
or whatever. Just remember the name when it comes time for streaming, and check it out. It's a good movie. I was excited and to unexpectedly be talking about it with you. So
yeah. All right, man. Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah. Citizen Kane, Movie Night Extravaganza, Tuesday. Tune in.
I will be there. Hopefully, I'll be there too. Thank you, man.
Take care.
Good old Neil. Ella McKay is a really bad title for a film. I mean, it's been named before. Name titles there. How's it going there, Chris? How's it going, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing all right, Josh. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Man, kind of got you a little bit like Lucas, man. Kind of Lucas shape up a little bit there. I see you, man.
Hey, man. As far as Lucas isn't the problem. Lucas isn't the problem.
Yeah.
He was never the problem.
Yeah, man. Where's your ginger at, man? You gonna get yourself a ginger, man?
What?
Ginger. You gonna get yourself a ginger?
No. Redheads aren't my type.
Oh, really? Not your type? Okay. Man, I like some good redheads. There's some good, Amy Adams, Isla Fisher, Jessica Chastain.
For sure. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Good redheads out there.
Yeah. Not quite my tempo.
Okay, not your tempo.
Not my tempo.
Sorry to keep you waiting for so long. I'll hop right into this. Very good there.
It's all good.
And I got Neil waiting as well because Neil's gonna come on after you.
Right.
So
busy show, stacked show.
Yeah. After you're gonna do the worst of and Oscar predictions, gonna do that, and then I got some other reviews I gotta do. All right. Let's get into this. So, Stranger Things is done. It's a wrap. It is over. This is the final season. We're going to be doing a review of this season 5. They just dropped their final episode there. For some people, it's a little bit bittersweet. You know, some people have been with these kids and Hawkins since 2016. Man, people remember 2016. Obama was still in office. Man, some people remember that quite fondly. And it took all these years later, 9 years later, for them to end it. But yeah, it's the finale is finally here. And we're going to go into full on spoilers there. So people who haven't seen it might want to click off and then come back when you have watched the whole thing. Or I know some people go like, well, I don't care about Stranger Things. So you can go ahead and spoil it all you want. But yeah, and I had to refresh my memory. Luckily, they do a recap at the beginning of this. So they usually do that they kind of recap, because I had forgot some stuff that happened in season 4. But what's going on in this season 5? Well, so Hawkins is under military occupation there. A lot of the people of the military there are trying to figure out and investigate what is in the Upside Down and how they can use the Upside Down for their own advantage. Much like military in these type of movies, it's always we want to use this as a weapon to do something or another. Here, it's they want to use it as a weapon to fight the Soviets and how we can harness that power of all these Demogorgons and Vecna and Henry and what other names he's got, aka blah blah blah, Mind Flare, and all these other names that this enemy has. Mr. What's It, some of the other kids call him. But yeah, so they have that. And then the fighters that we have here, we got the core cast of people. We got Mike, we got Hopper, we got 11, we have Jonathan, we have a whole bunch of people in this. People talking about how big that this cast actually is there. Dustin, Lucas, Max, who we see who for the last 2 years still has been in a coma. Is that still called the Upside Down? What she's in? That's still kind of a version of the Upside Down, right? Or is that something else?
I think when they're trapped in like Vecna's thing, is that the Abyss or Abyss X, or there's a? I just saw a post about it, kind of explaining.
Yeah, she's kind of in like this other realm basically there, while she's kind of in this coma there. And then so a large part of they were trying to help her and save her. They're trying to also stop Vecna there and his power. And then Vecna's plan is to basically, this dark wizard, kidnap all these kids for his own grand kind of master plan for what he wants to do with that. So that's kind of the setup you have here of this season 5. And a lot of people talking about, some people seem kind of divided on this season 5. It's a little divisive. Some people kind of think, well, it was fine, or there were a lot of issues and plot holes and character motivations and that didn't make sense. A lot of acting that was kind of poor on this. But Chris, I want to get your thoughts, man. What are your thoughts here on season 5 of Stranger Things?
Yeah, so immediately with I had a bad feeling the first episode when it showed 11 in the obstacle course. It was giving Rey from Rise of Skywalker. I don't know if anyone ever complained about 11's abilities and what she can do without any training, but like, I'm not sure. I get it in the end, the fight against Vecna, you see the payoff of the training, but for me, that was a little corny, and that gave me a bad feeling. And that bad feeling didn't go away as we continued. I did notice, as I said in my reaction on TikTok and Instagram, this season is following a structure I'm not sure if the past seasons did this. I think that maybe they did. It's kind of like Andor, when they give you like these arcs, but like in chunks, like 3 to 4 episode arcs, where the final episode is the fun, exciting spectacle, the reason why you watch, the reason why you remember why you like the show in the first place. But everything up until then is a lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue, hopefully some character work. But the issue here is that Andor had better writing. A lot of characters we've known since season 1. You know, the whole thing of season 1 was 80s nostalgia, childhood wonder. They're in the basement playing Dungeons and Dragons, and whoa, what's happening? The supernatural thing happening in our neighborhood kind of reflects Dungeons and Dragons. We can use this to navigate. They really captured the '80s magical whimsicalness in the first season. But as we've seen from the Duffel brothers, as what they've said, it's obvious there was no full plan as we got here. Every question we have for them is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's up to you in the end. I mean, it could be possible. There's a lot of questions that they just left up in the air. There's a lot of it's a little messy, and as I said, the dialogue isn't great. I the characters, a lot of them feel lost, as I did say also, and when I say that, I mean they are no longer the character who we met. I understand over 5 seasons they grow. There's an arc, but there's an arc, there's character growth, and then there's becoming a heightened caricature of who you used to be. Nancy at the end of season 1, she got the shotgun and took out the Demogorgon. The rest of the show, she's Rambo. Season Snake. Season 3, Hopper he's no longer the friendly neighborhood sheriff. He's now Conan the Barbarian. He's lean, he's cut, he knows how to use a sword, and he doesn't really lose that. He also goes on. He also remains like a trained like badass, like going forward, and like that's fine. But he wasn't always that. If I remember correctly, in season 1 and season 2, he got his ass kicked a lot. He wasn't. He's kind of become Star-Lord in volume 2 when he has like god powers. Like this man's taking out train. I don't know. It's just there's Nancy. There's Hopper. There's Joyce, Winona Ryder's character. She feels lost. She feels fallen to the wayside. Millie Bobby Brown's character, 11, in season 1, this was her show. For the first 2 seasons, I want to say, maybe the first 3 seasons, this was her show. She was the lead, the main character. And I know she still is, I think technically she's top billing, or is it Winona? But by the time we get here, 11L, she feels fallen to the wayside. She feels like she's been mixed into the ensemble, and not in a good way. She should still be the anchor of the show, like she used to be. Season 1, season 2, she was the anchor of the show. And by the time we get here, if I'm being honest, I feel like actors and performances like Kayla MacLachlan and Sadie Sink are the ones who are kind of stole the show from me in terms of star power and acting. But with all that said, they stuck the landing. As I was playing, I did compare it to like Game of Thrones season 8. Like, this is rough. This is clearly they're throwing stuff at the wall, making stuff up as they go along. There was no plan for this ending, except for Stranger Things. This finale, I think they stuck the landing. Every character, their story is wrapped up in a very satisfying way, as far as I'm concerned. And so season 5 wasn't great. The writing wasn't strong. I think some of the cast were checked out and didn't want to do it anymore. Noah Schnapp, I think he gave stronger performances in season 1 and season 2, back when he was just doing, this. When he was emotional, in season 1, season 2, when he was a kid, he's like really going for it. I feel like in season 5, in season 4, his performance, as he's an older actor now, an adult in his 20s, I don't know. He felt a little, maybe a little phoned in, as they say. I feel like there were some phoned in performances, but overall, it was okay. The finales for me did a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of like providing that emotional punch.
Okay. Yeah. I know people have been talking about that a lot. A lot of the actors, in this season, they've seemed like people think they've regressed. They've gotten worse. They're not as good as when we first saw them when they were kids. I think the particular ones that people have been talking about the most, Noah Schnapp, is, if you mentioned before, and then also maybe Millie Bobby Brown. I don't want to talk about her looks too much. A lot of people talk about her looks, and
the memes about her face being like the same face, not emoting.
Yeah, maybe she's had like lip filler or something like that going on. I don't know if you've seen that at all. But I mean, I could see that, and I could see some people did seem checked out, and you see some of the interviews. It's very Game of Thrones actor interviews, season 8, of like, well, oh my God, you must be so happy, and this is the final season. What do you think? And they're going like, oh yeah, this is good. Yeah, This is great.
Exactly.
You know, like, how do you feel about your character's fate at the end of this season? Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, you know,
Best season ever.
yeah, you know. So there's a lot of that kind of going on with it that they kind of were like, okay, yeah, it's time to wrap this up, and get this kind of over with there. Um, yeah, so I do feel that, and I think that comes through a little bit in the performances. Did you see the finale in theaters? Because they did do that. They did show the whole 2 hour finale in theaters. Made it $25 million. I think I heard.
25, yeah. I did not see it in theaters. I wasn't boycotting season 5, but you know, for personal reasons, I was not anticipating it. I wasn't excited for it. I didn't cover it like the first 4 episodes that dropped. I didn't talk about it at all. I told myself when it's all over, I'll talk. I'll make one reaction. I'm not gonna give it any hashtags, give it any traction, and any anything I do. You know, I didn't want to. As small as the operation as the Black Subs is, I didn't want to add or contribute in any way. But I watched it at home. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did not go. I know people did show up and people had their Hellfire shirts on, and
It was cinematic for sure. I'm watching it this 2 hour long finale. I'm thinking I could imagine seeing this in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think it looked like a Linkin Park music video? A lot of people were talking about that. Like the finale looked like that music video, Linkin Park.
In the Abyss, no, but I did notice maybe like a increase in budget for the finale. Like it did look for me. It looked a little bit different from the rest of the show, a little bit.
Because people edited that. And I know the budget for this season was like what, like 200 something $1 million, 400 something $1 million, or 100 per episode or something like that. I don't know if you heard about that. I'll try to look that up real quick. But yeah, so the budget on this show was high. It was incredibly high, for each episode of it. But yeah, so people went to go see it. People, did show up for it at theaters, dresses, like I said, Hellfire Club t-shirts, and then also, Demogorgons and all that kind of stuff like that. I will say that the character arcs, let's discuss the character arcs for this season. So you had Dustin in this, who his character, a lot of it was him trying to overcome, the death of Eddie. He's still very broken up about that, and he's lashing out at the world. He's lashing out at his friends, and he's still trying to kind of wrestle and grapple with that. How did you like his arc in this season, and what did you think his arc amounted to there?
For me, Dustin, Gaten Matarazzo was always a consistent player in terms of conviction and acting performance. I really like what was happening with his character in this season. For me, that's how you remain consistent. That's how you stay true to the character. There was a natural flow to his character. As I said, some characters felt lost. Go back to season 4. You see how close Eddie and Dustin were. It's so close that Steve might be getting jealous of this another guy, taking away his young ward, his Robin, his young apprentice, his little brother figure. And there's a moment in season 4 where Eddie and Steve have a talk about Dustin as if they're like co-parenting or something, So for Dustin to be so upset, to lose his older brother figure, and clearly Eddie did something, provided something for Dustin that Steve wasn't able to. Steve was trying to help him grow out of certain things. And Eddie made Dustin feel like you don't have to change to be cool. It's cool to be a nerd, Not that Steve didn't help him honor that, but Steve, wasn't Eddie. So Dustin in season 5 being so beat up and lashing out, that makes sense. He's grieving. That's part of the grieving process. That makes sense for that character. So their little falling out they fight. That was intense. I was waiting for Steve to be like, okay, I'm done, and then like put him down. He never did because he loves Dustin. I think like he subdued him, but like he didn't like harm him or anything. Yeah. So Dustin, like I said about Lucas and Max, he's also not part of the problem. I liked how he was handled in season 5.
Mm. I liked a lot with Dustin. I mean, I think he's one of the few people I think that kind of comes off good in this season. And I like kind of little his stuff of what he went through, and then the fact that, um, I mean, again, you talk about like characters and how they've grown and how kind of some of their abilities have reached kind of absurd levels, maybe like him being like maybe a little bit of a genius, I guess, and a lot of his things of designing things and maybe, coming up with a lot of the explanations for what's going on in the upside down and all this. Is like, okay, I guess. I mean, maybe stretching it a little bit, but sure, let's go with it. Maybe there's a little bit of that. But yeah, I like that. And I like the emotional moment. There's some good emotional moments in this season that makes you remember why you got into the show in the first place, and the stuff with him and Steve. And like I said, I mean, him and Steve are going back and forth a lot during the first half of season 5. And yeah, that moment where he says, like, I don't want to lose you like Eddie, that was, I thought, a good strong moment. And then like I said, Steve maybe is a little jealous the fact that, Eddie kind of took his place as the mentor kind of to him, to Dustin. And they made that bond. What was that, in season 2? They made that kind of bond there. Where he started to take over as like what do they call him, like the babysitter or something
By
like
the
that?
end of season 1, the first time
Yeah.
Steve shows up with the bat to defend them from the Demogorgon, from that point on, he becomes this surrogate older brother to almost to the gang. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did.
Steve and his bat.
Yeah. What do you think? Speaking about Steve, what do you think he's kind of going through in this season? Is he kind of on the list of people that you think that the show kind of this season was like so many people they just didn't know what to do with him, or what?
A little bit, but at the same time, by the time you get here, especially with that little epilogue, we see the older group of friends talking, and
Steve, Robin,
Robin,
Nancy, and Jonathan. Yeah.
and Jonathan. Yeah, he ends up coaching little league baseball, and he's still looking for a wife. He still wants 6 little nuggets. By the time we get to season 5, all he wants, as long as Dustin's good, what else do you do with Steve? To be completely fair, except have him and Jonathan talk about Nancy, and how special she is, and how the problems between Nancy and Jonathan, it had nothing to do with Steve in the end. It was, and Jonathan realized, I was blaming you for a lot of when it wasn't about you. So for Jonathan this season, it's about making sure Dustin's good, because Dustin is his main little friend, and making sure Nancy's good. He cares about Nancy, and making sure that there's no bad blood between him and Jonathan. That's all he has to do this season, and all that's kind of quelled over a conversation. The real drama for Steve is honestly with Dustin. That's the bigger drama, because that escalates to a physical confrontation. Whereas with Nancy and Jonathan, it's just they're older, they're more mature. They have a moment and they talk about it. Where Jonathan, as I just said, Jonathan tells them, I'm sorry for blaming you. It wasn't about you. It was we had our own problems outside of you, and that's why we're no longer together. And Steve doesn't go, oh, y'all broke up. I'm going back. No, that's part of his arc. That's part of his arc. They both agree Nancy's great, but she doesn't need either of us. And it's maturity. It is growth and maturity. And Steve Harrington.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like there wasn't really that much there for Steve besides the relationship with Dustin, and be a part of also just the gang and be a part of that. And he even has a plan moment in this. And everybody's got plans. That's a big thing that people might have seen in the show. I think one of the before I get to her, I'll talk about Jonathan more. Yeah, I feel like Jonathan didn't really have much except his whole relationship with Nancy. Besides for season 1, when she picks him over Steve, of like, oh, she's picking the, maybe the better guy at that moment because Steve was the asshole jock. That relationship I wasn't all that invested in it. I didn't really care about it all that much. And there's lots of relationships and just romantically. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't care about teenage romance or middle school romance that much. I don't know. It's just not something I'm that interested in. I was kind of like, oh well, I'm not really interested in their romance. Joyce and Hopper, I wasn't interested in their romance, and even their finale. I was like, oh, that's I guess sweet, but I don't really. I never really liked them together. I thought he kind of negged her into a relationship. I guess I don't know. I like them together. Um, but so when they finally did break up, Nancy and Jonathan, I was like, okay, well, that's a good decision. They don't seem particularly that great together, really. And yeah, so I thought that was kind of good. Did you like that moment of them? They're almost dying, and he kind of unproposes to her. Did you like that?
So maybe that was a lack of media literacy on my part. That was not clear to me. That was a breakup scene. I thought they were just joking about how, now's not the right time because we're facing the world, but like maybe down the road. That's how I maybe clearly I wasn't paying attention. But when the Duffer Brothers made that statement, yes, that was a breakup. Like the fact that they had to say that was a breakup scene, I think that tells you the writing wasn't strong. They made an official statement in case it wasn't clear. That was a breakup. I'm like
They have to do a lot of that now. Yeah.
that's the problem with season 5. Going back real quick, that it was an issue I had with Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan. The fact that it was still this love triangle thing was still a question. I'm like, this is the last season, y'all. We're not over this yet. I thought this has been established. And for the character of Jonathan, season 4, they made him a stoner. Was that an attempt to make him interesting? Was that an attempt to give this character something to do? Because since season 1, I think season 1 he has the most to do as far as worrying about his little brother, keeping his mom calm, listening to her eventually, but before that, saying, trying to be respectful, but like saying, "Mom, you're crazy." Like the supernatural stuff you're talking about isn't, I think season 1 is what his character has the most to do, and by the time we get here, season 5, all he has to do is break up with Nancy.
Yeah.
Will is the one who. Sorry, Jonathan is the one who again, he's one of the few characters that is part of the issue. He's kind of fallen to the wayside, and it's as if they don't know what to do with him.
And yeah, and then with Nancy, a lot of her stuff. I mean, again, it's just kind of like figuring out, like, okay, basically, what are we gonna do afterwards? Life after the Demogorgon, life after Vecna, and then a lot of it also her motivate is like saving her sister because Holly is been captured by Vecna, and a lot of that. And she, he comes to her as an imaginary friend, Mr. Watson. So he has a new kind of identity there to present to these kids, so he can kidnap them and then use them for his own means. And that was kind of a crazy scene there where you have the mother, because the mother name is Karen, right? Her mother. Yeah. Funny, man, white woman named Karen. I don't think I've met a white woman named Karen before in real life. Have you? I can't remember. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so she's doing it, and then the dad is so useless. I mean, like, he's just completely useless there. He doesn't even know how old
he's a typical dopey 80s dad. Just
yeah,
at the dinner table, newspaper, doesn't say much, just like makes dad noises, like grunts occasionally. Yeah.
And I like how nobody checks on him when he gets into the hospital for the coma. Like they don't even mention like, oh yeah, he's just in a coma. Yeah.
Is mom okay? That's all we care about. Is mom okay?
The kids didn't go to his room once that we saw, but I don't know. Maybe the Duffer Brothers explained that in the interview.
Off camera. They did it off camera.
They did it off camera. Yeah. They visited him. They checked up on him. They brought him some flowers,
Whatever happened to Vicky? Off camera, so and so. Oh, okay, all right. And off camera, Hopper and Joyce acknowledged that they went to school with Henry. I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah. and off camera, Dustin broke up with his girlfriend. I'm like, guys, this is.
Yeah, they doing a lot of also like when these interviews, they're doing a lot of like I think or it could be. I was like, bro, you wrote the show though. What you mean? I think or it could be or like you the chef here, ain't you? Like what you mean?
What do you mean? It could be. Tell us. It's your story.
Yeah, it's like well, I don't know. It could be, maybe, sort of. I mean, what do you think? I mean, whatever you think, that's what happened. Yeah, sure. Go ahead with it.
It's up to the audience to decide. No, You wrote the story. Come on now.
Yeah. With Holly, so it seems like they're ushering, like they were the new kind of version of the kids. I don't know is there a name for their club that they have, like the group of kids?
I forget if they ever if they ever give their campaign crew an official name.
Yeah, 'cause I was about to say the Losers Club. That's it. I was about to say that, but that's it.
Because what did they call it when in season 1 when Lucas was really against L? Remember the season 1, Lucas was who was the voice of reason, like the magical Negro in the group, who was like Mike, you have a crush on her. That's it. This girl came out of nowhere. She has no parents. She's kind of her head is shaved. No, 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 no. She cannot join the group. I think he said, I think it's just a group, or yeah, there's no name. I think.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, what they're exactly known as. How'd you like that stuff with Holly, who's Mike's and Nance's sister, their younger sister? How'd you like the stuff with her and all the other newer kids as well?
I thought it was smart. That way, when we get to the end, when Mike and his kids and his friends are finished the game and put their books away, the next generation comes rushing down, excited to play, excited to learn. They don't even, like, if you're listening to the dialogue, they don't even know how to play, but they're excited to play because of what they've seen and heard of, Mike and his friends' adventures. So I liked that. We spent the entire last season paying a good amount of time with these, spending a good amount of time with these newer kids. Who's the round young man?
Derek.
Derek, suck my fat one.
Yeah. That's his catchphrase. He's got like his own Bart Simpson "eat my shorts" kind of catchphrase.
Yeah, that's his catchphrase. Yeah, he was funny. Holly was funny. I was missing Lucas's sister, the wisecracking
Erica.
Erica. Love Erica. She's so funny. She had a little bit to do, as far as helping out, but yeah, she's always hilarious. I was happy with how they handled like the new kids. If they ever want to continue, again, the brothers say a lot of things. Did you see? They said that rock from the briefcase is a potential spinoff.
Yeah, I saw them say that, and then also they have like an animated show coming out that's like a prequel that's about like the lost thing they did or whatever.
So if they want to continue, and they did introduce a whole brand new generation of kids.
Stranger Things 90s edition. We can get the 90s edition.
It did the 90s, but as we've seen with the show, you gotta do these seasons fast. These kids are growing up very fast, and when the show started, they were kids. Now they're in their 20s, and it did have an effect overall on production, and also the pandemic didn't help. But
yeah.
Okay.
And then a character you mentioned, some of the newer people here, with kind of the antagonist character, because you also have that kind of coming in. You have a new addition there with Linda Hamilton, who's in here as Dr. K. How'd you feel about her? I feel like she was kind of underused there, and not really all that much was kind of done with her.
Yeah, completely underutilized. I do like that this show is intentionally 80s nostalgia bait. In season 1 and season 2 is the best way possible. In season 2, Sean
Astin, Bob.
Sean Ashton was Winona's boyfriend. I'm like, wow, another 80s star. Because Winona, a big part of her being in the show was she's a big 80s star. So having him there. Who else did they bring in that was like an 80s? I don't want to say relic, but like a symbol of the 80s. Like they did that a lot. So having Linda Hamilton here, that was cool. I was like, oh, we know why she's here in Stranger Things. She's another 80s figure. But yeah, it was a little mustache twirly, a little, the American military wants to weaponize the supernatural phenomenon. It's a little mustache twirly because of how often it's been done, whether it's Jurassic Park or any other, or like Annihilation or anything. And anything. It's a massive trope that I'm just not a fan of at all. And in the end, she was definitely underutilized. But she does have presence. Whenever, she has aura. Whenever she's on screen, I'm like, I'm like, wow, that's Linda Hamilton. She looks so cool without doing anything. Um, but besides that, she was definitely underutilized.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought, and then also they got asked that question. There was another interview thing of like, well, so what happened to the military in between the two, like in between like 80, because the season starts at 87, is 1987 season 5, and then by the end of season 5, it's 1989. So it's a 2-year time skip in the future there. Um, and then yeah, they asked, so what happened to the military presence in the town and what happened to all that? He's like, oh well, I guess they kind of just packed up and left because Elle wasn't there and there wasn't else anything to do. So hey, I guess they just kind of left. I guess
I
it's like cool,
guess. I
sure, okay.
guess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, and then also, I mean, Nancy did kill a couple of military people. They all killed military people. Like, oh, I guess okay, they're just gonna not do anything about that. All right. Um, and then Neil said, Linda Hamilton seemed like stunt casting choice more than anything. Yeah, they usually have, like you said, big '80s people like Sean Astin, Hauser, Paul Reiser. I'm sorry, he was in one of the seasons too. He's a big '80s guy. He was in '80s things as well. So yeah, they'll usually bring in like '80s stars to come match the gimmick of it. Um, with that. But yeah, I thought she was kind of underutilized. And just the way the story is kind of formatted, like I said, all these kind of plans, and I think the kind of that's exemplified with the Maya Hawke character Robin, where all of a sudden these light bulb moments, and people have probably seen it parodied on TikTok and other places there, where they go like, okay, imagine that this is me, and then imagine that this is you, and then imagine that I'm here, and then imagine this is Vecna, and imagine, did you ever see the movie Great Escape, and did you ever see the movie Return of the Jedi, and then imagine if you actually wrote a better fucking script, and then you wouldn't have to do this in every episode, every single time to try to break something down. What would you think about those moments in the show there, and things like that? Did you kind of see a lot of that criticism there?
I did see a little bit of that criticism as far as the poor dialogue, and overall these scripts for season 5 were really rough. It's a lot of cookie cutter spoon feeding dialogue, but it's not even like sustenance. It's a lot of fluff. Look out! Here comes, look, get down. If you do this, I can do this. It's a lot of tell instead of showing us. And stories you want to show and not tell. And that's the problem with season 5. It's a lot of telling the audience what's about to happen, what has to happen so this can happen. Like we're not dumb. Just don't pander. Just do it. Play the story out and let us watch. But yeah, that is a good example of how rough these scripts were this final season.
Yeah. And do you think that's ultimately, I mean, would you say that this season 5 is worse than any other season of Stranger Things?
I think as far as writing goes, I think so. I really, as we've seen, I think it's safe to say the Duffer Brothers didn't know how they wanted to end or how they were going to end this story. I know season 2, episode 7 gets a lot of flack for like the X-Men episode where 11 meets others like her who
Yeah.
escaped, and yeah. But season 3, I think people really loved season 3 with like the summer theme and the mall. Dacre Montgomery. Season 3 was a lot of fun. Season 4, Vecna, Max. If I only could make a deal with
Yeah.
like
Man, her royalties going up. They play that's like a marathon. That's like
every single time. So I think just by comparison, season 5 is the weakest. Like I said, strong finale. They stuck the landing, but everything leading up to it, luckily, this is the 5th season, so this finale is either way is earned. But the journey of season, like if it was just season 5 and this the finale, not earned. Luckily, we have a strong season 4, a exciting and beloved season 3, a great season 2 with like one chink in the armor, one episode, and a stellar season 1 that started it all. Yeah. Season 5, I think, is safe to say is the weakest.
Yeah, I'd agree. I haven't rewatched the seasons since I've seen them, but yeah, I would say, from my memory there, that this would be, yeah, the weakest that they've done there for this season. I think the finale, there's some good emotional beats in it. And
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely I didn't cry, but I got choked up and emotional for sure. For sure.
yeah. Did you love that moment with Hopper and Mike where after 11 has, supposedly sacrificed herself that
I loved every single farewell between groups
Mm,
of friends, two people, Mike and 11, Purple Rain playing over that so
yeah.
so emotional. Hopper and Mike having that conversation about moving on. There's two roads. You can blame yourself, push people away, or you can accept what happened and move on with your life. Just that. Ending the game, Max saying, "Oh, Mike, peace and comfort. That's it. I thought you were some great storyteller. What happened?" And they're like, "Ooh," and then he goes, "Okay, well, let me tell you what peace and comfort." And then he tells them where they end up. Lucas and Max live happily ever after. Dustin goes off to college and he just continues to gain more knowledge. Will goes off to some big city and he is free to explore his own sexual proclivities.
He goes to New York.
He goes
Hey.
to New York, man, in the late 80s and early 90s. So, I'm not going to say anything else. But there was an epidemic. Sorry.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Yeah. The farewell, because, this show started in 2016. I was 22 years old. So naturally, I liked the younger kids. I understood they're the main group, but I naturally gravitated towards Harrington, Nance, the older characters. So when we got to season 3, introduced Maya Hawke's character. Season 4 introduced Joseph Quinn's character. Um, those are always the characters I was more latching onto.
Mhm.
So now that I do what I do, I relate heavily with Steve Harrington, who, even though he never vocalized it really, oh no, he did. He loves kids. He's a guy who loves kids. He wants to be a father. He loves being a surrogate older brother to Dustin. He loves kids. He doesn't always express it, but there's reasons why I relate to the older characters. Pardon me.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, with the kind of the older characters and their journeys there, and I think, with them, it's like, they're having more, not really a midlife crisis, but like kind of like a, I don't know, slightly less quarter crisis of just like, where am I going to go in my life? For
Yeah,
the younger, it's like, well, life is still wide open for me, and still all these kind of expected things of me going off to school or
yeah,
whatever. For them, it's kind of more like, what do I want out of my life? I'm getting older. With Nance, it's like, okay, do I want to get married? Do I want to settle down? Do I want to pursue more of a career?
because she
Like,
dropped out of school, right?
yeah, she dropped
Yeah,
out. They say she dropped, and then she works at a newspaper now. She works at
yeah.
the
That's what
Herald.
and I think she's happy. I think she wants to do that. Jonathan is in New York doing film.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
he goes
Steve
to NYU now. NYU. He wants to go to NYU.
NYU, and he's making some film about capitalism and cannibalism.
Yeah,
The consumer, the film. Yeah, the
yeah.
consumer. You get it. It's a concept. Steve and I think Maya Hawke's character stayed local.
Yeah, I think they both stayed local. I think, or did she say she was gonna go to Philly, right,
Steve
with her
stayed.
uncle?
Steve stayed local. Where's Robin in the end? When they're is she visiting or is she?
I think she said she was going to Philly, right, with her uncle, because that's where they were going to meet up to do at her
Yeah,
uncle's house to
has
do
a
the
house.
film,
Yeah.
right, or
So
something like that.
that was an emotional farewell when they all start crying because it's one of those things where the actors don't have to act. They know this is our last scene together as these characters. This is the farewell scene. It's going to be tough because we don't have to act. This is after this we're not doing this anymore, and this has been our lives for round up. This has been our lives for 10 years. Um, so when Robin is like, I have new friends, but it's not the same. And Jonathan's like, I don't think it ever will be. And Steve is like, okay, guys, geez Louise, knock it off. Like, I get it, Yeah, that one really got me. I didn't really feel much for Hopper and Joyce's engagement, to be honest. I love the song they chose,
Mm.
but yeah, the farewells really got me. Those are really emotional.
Mm. Yeah, like you said, all the weight of the past seasons with these characters, and like I said, for people who do like it and like say follow these characters all the way and really are big fans, it is probably very emotional for them to see these characters, have a final goodbye and go away there. I don't know. I mean, what's your over under? How long before they give a call to the original cast? It's like, okay, which one of you can come back for another season or for another spinoff or what? What do you give it?
Okay, so let's say, what do we know about this animated series? Is it coming next year? Do we know? Like, does it have a date?
Yeah, this anime series is taking place between like the show like 85 to 86 or something, 87 or something. And
What
so
are
it's
we?
like it's them as little kids again.
Okay,
So it's like a whole new voice cast because obviously they can't do little kid
so
voice anymore.
when is that series going to drop?
I don't know yet. I don't know when they're gonna do that one.
Okay, so
But
I'm
yeah.
imagining spin-off series, animated series, and then maybe next, and then the next thing. So maybe 3 to 5 years. If Millie isn't
It's supposed to
doing.
come out this year, 2026.
Oh, okay. So then maybe less time. We'll see how that's received. We'll see how the spin-off goes, and I wouldn't be surprised if because not everyone from this talented ensemble cast is booked and busy. From what we've seen, Sadie Sink is booked and busy. I think Caleb McLaughlin is going to be working with Jordan Peele. Um, David Harbour is good at finding work here and there. Outside of Enola and Electric City, I don't know what Millie has lined up. I know Finn wants to focus more on music. I know Gatton is a big Broadway guy. Um, yeah, I don't imagine anyone being too busy to come back to Stranger Things, except for
Yeah.
Sadie Sink. I think Sadie Sink has
Yeah.
oddly enough, they play a couple in the show, but Sadie Sink and Caleb McLaughlin, I think their trajectory in terms of Hollywood looks bright.
Well, she's gonna be in. I think there's a rumor she's gonna be in Spider-Man. There's a
She
rumor.
is in Spider-Man. We just
Yeah.
don't know. We just don't know who she's playing yet.
Yeah, she's gonna do that.
She's
So you
gonna be
think out of the big breakout stars, because you already said Joseph Quinn pretty much, like he's the person that seems like the person who really broke out, really.
He left last season. He's gone. He is playing opposite Lupita Nyong'o. He's playing opposite Pedro Pascal. He's a bona fide star. Warfare was in my top 10 for a very long time, and it's him and the other the young guys of Hollywood: Will Poulter, Charles Melton, Michael Gandolfini. Who else?
I know there's that dude from Shogun with Cosmo Jarvis.
Cosmo Jarvis and Kit Connor. Yeah, just a great cast. I really did. DeFaro from oh my goodness, Reservation Dogs.
Yeah.
Just incredible cast. Yeah, Joseph Quinn broke out, like he was introduced season 4, broke out of season 4. Major star.
So you think out of the kids is gonna be Sadie Sink and Caleb McLaughlin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where Millie started off as the star, the anchor, and like really strong acting season, like the first 3 seasons, I want to say. I think Sadie kind of, not a competition, but just who's stealing the show in terms of acting. Who's top of the call sheet versus who's stealing the show with their talent as an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, like I said, I don't really, none of the romantic relations really strike to me that hard, except for Dr. Umar, forgive me. But I do think Lucas and Max probably are the one that probably do the best, I think, more than anybody else.
According to Mike's story, they live happily ever after. That's the couple that make it. That's outside of Hopper and Joyce. I did see an edit that kind of also got to me. The tragedy of the mage and the storyteller, Mike and 11. The fact that they don't end up together, or yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
um,
Um,
tragedy.
yeah. So I did think that worked there, but I think hopefully they all have great careers there. I mean, I know Noah Champ. People talking about like, damn, he already rehitting old nachos because he's doing like a podcast about like all the episodes, like rewatch all the episodes and doing that and breaking it
Yeah,
down.
I saw a tweet. It was like, well, the good news is Noah Schnapp is out of a job. I was like, okay. Okay.
But
I get it, but like that's part part of the reason why I was feeling how I felt about not giving the show too much attention when it dropped. I'm like, I'll give it a second.
mm,
But you know, um, he's talented, and I'm sure he'll find something.
yeah. But yeah. So, then like I said, finale. So rest of the season you thought was meh, but the finale somewhat saves kind of a mediocre season.
Yeah, so there's 8 episodes. Like I said, the Andor model. So episodes 1, 2, and 3, I was, I'm like, this writing isn't great. Script is not great. Dialogue isn't great. Get to episode 4. I'm like, this feels more like Stranger Things, and not just because of the action or the spectacle, but because of I don't know, the writing just was a little bit stronger. Characters felt like themselves again. They're being smart with their decisions, and then we get 5, 6, and 7, and again, I'm like, okay, this is it's like Andor is slow. It's a slow burn. There's a lot of dialogue, but it's good. It's well written. 5, 6, and 7, a little slow. Heavy dialogue, not a lot of meaningful um, dialogue with substance. And then we get 8, the finale. People have their gripes with how long the fight of the final confrontation was. Vecna being beaten early, too easily. How come he didn't call in any Demogorgons, Demodogs during the last big fight? Ask the Duffer Brothers. Oh, he wasn't anticipating a final confrontation. And then someone was like, imagine if there were no orcs defending because they didn't know there was going to be a confrontation. Like, what are you
That
talking?
sounds very like Game of Thrones, like the people saying like, well, Daenerys kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. It's like, why did she just use the dragons? It's like, what about the Iron? Did she know that? It's like, well, I guess she just kind of forgot about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. And also, someone made a good point. I don't think it's like nitpick. I think it's valid. Eleven's um, wardrobe, this finale, she's wearing a wetsuit the entire time.
Hmm.
The entire time. She's out of the tank, soaking wet, and just goes on about it. She doesn't dry off. Like, there's got to be, chafing, you know, uh, itchiness, discomfort, potential UTI. Like she's in the upside down. She's in the abyss. She's fighting Vecna. She's running. She's ripping holes in things. Um, yeah, I didn't know that. I thought I did think about that at some point. Like, she's wearing just a wetsuit the entire time. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you pretty much said you like the final confrontation, her battling the giant spider thing or whatever. Did you like that?
Um. Yeah. I'm getting older, so I don't always need a dramatic, drawn out fight. Eventually, it's too drawn out, and I do get bored. So I don't mind that it didn't last very long. I do think it is worth saying that where were the Demogorgons and Demodogs? Like, where was the army? Because 11 has her squad. Whereas it's Vecna and the Mind Flayer, as big as it is, versus the entire squad. And in the end, it chases Nancy into a little gorge, can barely reach her, and the people up top on the plateau or whatever are just hurling flames at it. And when I was watching it, I was okay with it. But now that I talk about it now, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, maybe a little lackluster, maybe a little half-assed
Yeah.
for a finale. For an epic confrontation. This is the final showdown between the person. Like, when Joyce is chopping off the head, and it goes around the room to everyone who was heavily affected and traumatized by this monster. Who lost who lost a loved one, a friend, a best friend. Um, you know, the final with all that in mind, the final confrontation was a little lackluster. Maybe there could have been a little Vecna and 11 have a Ben Solo Ray moment, just something something dramatic. We needed more drama. This is the finale. It's 2 hours long. But the day is saved with like a little over an hour. So there's like 50 minutes left. You're like, oh wow, so we're gonna say goodbye for 50 minutes. And the answer is kind of yes. Because after that they go back and we gotta wrap up L11, how she goes out.
Do you think so? Do you think she is dead, or you think she's alive, or whatever? Duffer Brothers say that only Millie Bobby Brown knows. Only them and Millie Bobby Brown knows.
I think she's alive. Otherwise, why they show her in Europe, walking in a meadow, finding a world with, I think, 3 waterfalls, like Mike said. She did the thing that Mike always talked about them when it's all over, just the 2 of them going away and finding somewhere wonderful. It's sweet. 11 did that. She did the thing that Mike said they were going to do together, and then Dustin did what Eddie said he was going to do. He gives the middle finger to the principal, snatches the diploma, and kind of skips away. It's nice when I like that in storytelling when oh, this is something my best friend said, or someone who I really cared about said they were going to do, and they didn't get to do it. So in honor of them, I'm going to do that. I love that. I think it's helpful for like the grieving process, because even when you lose, you can still grieve someone who's alive, and that's kind of even like that's even more tough. So right now, Dustin is grieving Eddie, and 11 is kind of grieving Mike, and Mike is grieving 11 because that is a loss of a relationship, and so I do think she's alive.
Yeah, I think even them trying to make it somewhat ambiguous, like, oh, maybe she could be dead, maybe she. I was like, no, she's probably alive. I mean, they want to,
like you showed her backpack, like she's old, she aged a little bit, longer hair. She's like you showed us that she's alive.
Oh, yeah. For me, I thought the finale. I'm not super in love with the show. I love the first season. I like the other seasons of the show, but I'm not like a huge mega fan there. Of it. I kind of lost interest of it. Being off the air for 3 years and then going into season 5. I was kind of just like, oh well, it was like, okay, I guess we'll. I'm a completionist, so I was like, I'll wrap it up because I've been there for so long. But in terms of finales, it's not one of the worst series finales I've seen in terms of that, but I do think it's an incredibly mediocre one for that. And I think the season overall is very mediocre for all the issues that we named with it. And a lot of things with the characters, like I said, characters is just, there's so many characters and a lot of people who just because there's so many character wise don't know really what to do with them, or they just kind of just feel standing around lingering. We didn't talk about the big one, the elephant in the room. We kind of talked about a little bit, but with Will and his big reveal there to his friends about him coming out as gay there, and that's kind of drawn some controversy of people of how it was handled and how it was put into the show. I mean, I don't think anybody's. If you've been watching the show, I don't think anybody's that surprised that he's gay. I think people set that. I think they set that up a while ago. That seems like, okay, he's probably gay, but it's just like in the midst of doing it when they're fighting this evil demon and then trying to take over the world and they're trying to save it. Did you think like how was that scene to you there?
I remember after that, we get news and reports and posts, and it was said that it took them 12 hours to film that, and then 12 hours of reshoots. And the way it was said as if it was a flex. Like, look how hard we work, look at the dedication, but like, that's not a flex. There was an issue with production. It was either an issue with the actors not being able to do the scene, or there were technical issues as to why we couldn't get the scene done. Um, because then you hear about the day they shot Max's Awakening, and Maya Hawke says, "Oh, they got uh, Sadie and Lucas got that done in 2 takes."
Mhm.
That emotional waking up, like, I played the song every day until you woke up. She goes, are you tired of the song? He goes, yeah, I'm tired of it. Are you? She goes, no, I love it. I'm like, that's good stuff. They nailed that in two takes. I'm like, but it took Noah Schnapp 12 hours.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say time and place. There's nothing wrong with a coming out scene, especially when it's a YA show and there's young folks out there who don't feel comfortable yet coming out or expressing themselves or celebrating themselves authentically. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just time and place. This is not the time to have this emotional, drawn out. The world is ending. I feel the same way about the breakup scene between Jonathan and Nancy.
Nancy.
Like,
Yeah.
like you guys are in this giant candle wax room. Is now the time to have this conversation?
Yeah. I guess that's a little different, I guess, because they thought they were about to die. So I guess they were just like, let's
That's fair. Let's talk
leave
about it
things.
in case you do
Yeah.
die. Let's get some things off. Yeah, it's it's a little different, but still, time and place. There's more. There's a better time to have this conversation. But yeah, if you're paying attention, this was set up since I think it was season 3 when they're older and the boys, all of them, Mike, Lucas, and Dustin, they want to focus on girlfriends and and not and do less D&D. And Will, who doesn't like girls in that way, they have there's a brief little, if you remember, there's a brief little exchange that stings a little bit because Will is asking Mike, how come we can't just play D&D? It's summer. We should be playing D&D all the time. Let's have fun. It's summertime. And Mike kind of snaps. He goes, "It's not my fault that you don't like girls." And Mike always knew. He said it in season 3. So why in season 5 are we doing this big dramatic thing? Why in well, no, it's like season 4. Remember season 4? Will was really emotional about trying to tell Mike how he felt.
Yeah.
The point where like that scene, he's like
crying.
And that meme of like the back of his head, what Mike was looking at when he was like crying, like
the bowl cut.
The bowl cut on like this white like mannequin.
Oh, I think this is it. Let me see. This is it right here, I think. Man.
Yeah, I'm just saying there was
oh man.
There was a setup for Will that didn't come out of nowhere. It's just time and place. There's nothing wrong with that scene. I think that stuff is very important to that kind of subject matter is important to tackle and address in media and storytelling, so that people know that it's that you are safe, you're not alone, and whenever you are ready in your time. But yeah, time and place. That wasn't the right time for a sweeping dramatic scene like that. And then when you find out how long it took for him to do that, and you're like, yeah, I can kind of tell. It didn't really work, and it doesn't work.
And it's just, there's a lot of scenes where people are talking and everybody's just kind of standing there in a room. There's a lot of that in this season. And yeah, I mean, like I said, time and place. I think that would have been better for like the epilogue where they're doing the finale and everybody's giving their conclusion of things. Like maybe the scene where they're doing the D&D thing, that would have probably been the best scene to have him come out, maybe. if they would really did that scene. Yeah. I'll wrap up, give my kind of final thoughts on here. Also, did you find Murray was to me the worst person this season? I didn't like really much anything he did.
Is Murray the bald bastard?
Yeah, the guy, the balding guy, glasses. I thought
Uh,
none
I,
of the jokes landed. I thought that was all really super unfunny.
hey
Everything.
man, being no, never mind. I don't want to say anything political. He was, when around the time of with 2022, 2023, Noah Schnapp was on social media handing out Zionism is sexy stickers, and the actor who plays Murray came to his defense and was like, Zionism is sexy, and I'm like, all right. And like he was defending Noah and like, oh, he's a young man handing out stickers, nothing wrong with that. I'm like, okay. So yeah, Murray, he was funny in what, season 3 when he was introduced.
Yeah, funny at first. I thought he was okay. This is kind of a decent
Yeah,
introduction
but
for him.
yeah, he definitely lost the wind in his sails and fell to the wayside, like many characters in this show. So
Yeah,
yeah, what wasn't a fan. I'm glad I didn't have to like him in this finale.
yeah. But overall, the rating I'd give this season, for all the issues I named, for a lot of the inconsistencies with the plot, with a lot of the poor dialogue, with a lot of the kind of characters that just so many that kind of just like felt like they had nothing to do. I'd give it a low kind of stream it for me. That would be my kind of thoughts on it. I think the finale, like I said, I'm a sucker for a decent sad kind of bittersweet ending there and farewell, sweet farewell with that. And I think they do that here with it. And then the big battle effects of it, I think those moments don't work really so well. But I think there's some interpersonal moments that do work, that I think are effective, that make you remember kind of like, at least for me, why I love this show initially at the start of it. Um, but yeah, and also a lot of these episodes are just so kind of bloated there. I mean, a lot of these episodes are like movie length, even not even just a finale, but there's something like hour and 20, hour and 10. You put all this time into these episodes,
Falling asleep.
and you put all the time in the episodes to still leave out information and do interviews later on talking about some, oh well, maybe this happened off screen and this happened. Like, damn, you couldn't fit that all in the hour and 20 something minutes you had with this show, but okay. So that's kind of where I am with it. I don't know what the level of investment is going to be after this. Like I said, they're doing the spinoffs, they're doing the another show, the animated show, and they're doing something else. Continue with it, but I don't know if the interest will still be there for this after that. But yeah, but I mean, seems like I'm not tapped into Stranger Things stan people all that much, so I don't know. But I don't know. It seems like they're kind of even disappointed by this. What would be your final thoughts rating?
So from the sound of it, it seems like I definitely like this show in its entirety, and I'm invested in it a bit more than you, and I feel exactly the way you feel.
Okay.
So what is tune in above stream it?
Yes.
So for me, I'll be very honest. It depends on who you are. If you are like me and you have loved this show and you have been invested since the beginning, I would give it a very conservative tune in.
Okay.
If you are a casual viewer, if you're a novice, if you're aware of it and you found it entertaining and you stuck with it, uh, stream it. Stream it at home. You don't need to see it in theaters. Watch it at home if you want. Now that it's dropped in its entirety, all 5 seasons, go from the beginning and go straight into season 5 and see how you feel, see how you like it. Um, um, Overall, not as bad as Game of Thrones season 8 because even though they didn't know where they wanted to go with it, and it's obvious based on all their interviews, it's obvious they did not know where they wanted to go. they stuck the landing. The farewells felt appropriate to the characters. Where they ended up felt appropriate, but season 5 beyond that, like it's 8 episodes. 4 and 8 are the best episodes. We have 6 episodes of that you said, Josh, perfectly bloated, over an hour long. And what are we doing? What are we talking about? Nothing. I'm bored. I'm falling asleep. Bloated is the right word. Yeah, it's it's a nothing. It's almost a nothing burger. Besides episodes 4 and 8, it's nothing.
Yeah. Did you like the reveal stuff about Henry Vecna, like his backstory, all that stuff?
I liked it because it didn't lead to him turning to the light side. If they revealed that and then, oh, Henry, you're a victim, you're just like us, come with us. Okay, if that happened, I'm like, so I'm glad it was like, you're a victim, he manipulated you. No, we were working together. We were always working together as one. I'm like, okay, good. Jamie Campbell Bell was Jamie Bowen Campbell.
I believe that's it. Guy is Henry. I believe that's his
Jamie
name.
Bowen Campbell. He was in Sweeney Todd. He was in Twilight. He was in that movie where
Jamie Campbell Bower.
Jamie Campbell Bower. Jamie Bell is a different actor. Yeah, a great actor, Jamie Campbell Bower. As I just listed, I knew I've known of him since long before Stranger Things. He is talented. I think my introduction to him was Sweeney Todd. Yep, nice voice. He can sing. Talented British actor. Most likely has a Shakespearean background. Most British actors have a Shakespearean background. He's getting a lot of props, a lot of praise for his performance, and rightfully so. He's doing a lot of great acting with his eyes. That crazy, I can't even do it, but like that low glare look. It's piercing, it's terrifying, it's intimidating, it's scary, and it's just his eyes. He's conveying a lot, and that's something really talented actors are able to do. So I'm glad he's getting his flowers for his work this season, because it's really good work.
Yeah, those are good performances. I think, like you said, good. I think Max is still good. Sadie Sink, I think, yeah, the villain performance is decent there. Yeah, but it's just funny, I watched It Welcome to Derry, and it's just like, man, it's just like, oh, this is much better.
That's what everyone says. Is just, oh, man, so scary. I wish I could watch it. So scary. I can't do it.
But yeah, so you give it conservative tune in. I give it a low stream it for Stranger Things season 5.
Yeah, if you're like me and you're invested from the beginning and you're a fan of the show, tune in. If you're like Josh and you're casual novice, stream it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna watch the spinoffs?
I might. Yeah, I might tune in. Yeah, we'll see. It's January now. Happy New Year, Josh.
Happy New Year.
I want to now. This month they get a wider release. I tried to watch Is This Thing On? And I tried to watch No Other Choice. Neither of them were showing wide release yet. So now that they are, I'll be watching those movies next.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to that. Before you head out, where can people find you? What you got going on? What you got coming up next? All that good stuff.
Yes. Thank you as always for having me, Josh. You can follow me on TikTok at the Black Stubs and Instagram at the Black Stubs. It's just me reacting to movies and television. Thank you as always for the engagement and support.
I love your reactions. I'll make sure to put your links in the description below, and check out him on all the platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all that good stuff. You got your best of out right now.
Yes, if you go to TikTok right now, Instagram right now, you can see uh, go to TikTok. My top 10 favorite movies of last year and top 10 favorite TV shows of last year, and also go to my letterbox. You can see all the movies I saw, and and you can see other movies that I scored very highly and just really enjoyed. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You could do. How long can you do videos on TikTok? I see this is 6 minutes. How long can you
Yeah,
do?
I think you can go up to 10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay. There you go. There. I see you got your quarter zip on. Okay, you're a quarter zip man. Got your quarter zip on. Okay, I see you, man. Nice, nice. You drink matcha too, or no?
No, no matcha. Green tea, but not
Green
matcha.
tea. Okay, gotcha. All right, Chris. Take care, man. Have a good one.
All right, thank you,
Happy
Josh.
New Year to you, man.
Happy New Year. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that, Neil. My apologies. Yeah,
No worries. No worries.
show
All
went
good.
over there. But yeah. Um, yeah. So
Stranger Things is a big deal, so I get it. I get it.
yeah. So you're not going. Nothing's gonna make you check it out, huh? Nothing's gonna make you finish it, huh?
No, I'm just not interested. I don't even dislike it. I'm just not interested, and I'm not going to force myself to watch something I'm not that into.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I guess I finished it. I mean, I wanted to talk about for the show, but also I'm a completionist, I want to wrap it up too. I still have to
Fair.
finish Squid Games season 2, season 3. I heard that season 3 is terrible. I hear that sucks too.
So I actually did see season 2 and 3 of Squid Game, and I don't think season 3 is terrible. It just doesn't really do that much different than the first season. I mean, there's a couple of good new wrinkles to it, but it just doesn't really feel like the story is that well thought out, and it just kind of ends without a great sense of conclusion. It really is one of those things where like season 1 is kind of the entire story you need. Season 2 and 3 are just kind of bonuses.
Mm, yeah. Okay. We got the Oscar talk, and then worst up there. Doing
All right.
that. I have 2 quick reviews that I'll do, and then we'll roll right into that. I won't be very long with those.
Okay.
And with that. So let me cue that up and let me do that.
All right, and I got my notes for if we pick the winners, so we're good to go there.
Okay. Very awesome there. So yeah. I don't want to go maybe over with this review 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. I don't want to go too much over with these. I know I don't want to waste your time here.
No worries. Take your time. No worries.
Okay. So, our first review of the day is going to be for a film called We Bury the Dead. We Bury the Dead is a movie there starring Daisy Ridley. People might know Daisy Ridley. She was Rey in the Star Wars franchise there. I don't think those movies are her fault. I thought she was very good in Star Wars there. And I've always been eager to see her in more things, Daisy Ridley there. So in this movie here, the setup is because of a military experiment in the, I think it's Tasmania, which is a island off the coast of Australia. The military is conducting an experiment. It kills the entire population of the island. And then when it kills the entire population of the island, there's a case where because some of the dead bodies they've lingered for so long, they start coming back to life again. They become the undead, the zombies there. And they start becoming very aggressive. She's part of a body retrieval unit that's tasked with going into these areas, into homes, businesses, neighborhoods, and clearing out the bodies and identifying the bodies. She's there for the purpose of finding her husband, who was on a business trip in the country there, and so she wants to make her way to him, and he's all the way on the south side of the south of the island there. So it's just kind of just about a lot of just trying to have closure. The zombies really aren't the main focus of this story. It's more about the personal relationships there, and it's more about how people kind of are trying to, I guess, combat grief. There is,
Mhm.
as I would say. This movie is directed by Zach Hilditch. There, I don't think I've seen movies from him before. He's done other things: Rattlesnake, 1922, These Final Hours. I don't think I've seen anything from him before with that there. But I think Daisy really does a fine job in this movie. She really, it's mainly her that's really, she's the lead of this, and she really kind of carries most of it there. I will say, I think one of the drawbacks of the movie very predictable. If you've seen somewhat of a zombie kind of film before, um, it is kind of very predictable about that, but it's also very kind of contained thing. It's not like this zombie thing. They're not kind of too worried about like, oh shit, like it's gonna spread and oh, it's going to all these other different places. No, it's kind of contained and on this island, and then that's kind of it. But yeah, very kind of predictable. You'll probably see where things are gonna go pretty early on. And there's a military guy that gets introduced in the movie. I knew where that was gonna go because typically military people in a movie like this, where that's kind of going to end up there.
Right.
But there's that. The person who aids her in helping her travel to it is the actor Brendan. I think his name is Brendan Thaws. Let me see what his name is there. He was a guy that played, he might be familiar, Brenton the Waits. He was Nightwing.
Yeah, in the Titans TV show on HBO.
Yes, he was in that. Yep, it's him. So he's in
Okay.
it. And he shows up as the person who's helping escort her to the part of the island on the south side there. But yeah, even though it is predictable, I still did enjoy it there. I will also say that the zombies here, I mean, the look of the zombies aren't anything revolutionary in terms of that, of the way they look or anything, but there's something that
Mhm.
they do with, there's an effect they do where they grind their teeth, and the sound of the teeth grinding really is unnerving and unsettling. I don't like teeth grinding. I don't like that at all.
I
Um,
I don't like tea stuff in general. That always is pretty gnarly to me. Like it's part of the reason why bring her back was so gnarly.
Oh yeah, ooh, especially with the knife, kitchen knife and all
Right.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like stuff like that at whatsoever. So yeah, that really was kind of very, very unnerving to me when they do that. And the effect of it in the theater with that sound system in your ear. Yeah, that to me was really, really good and really well done there. So yeah, for me, I would kind of just give this movie a decent high stream it for me.
Okay.
I kind of stream it there. Nothing like I said, nothing that will just go like, wow, this is like, revolutionizing the zombie genre or anything like that. But it's, I think, a good kind of entry there, a solid one. So for
Well,
me,
that's
I'd give it a high stream.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, this movie seems tailor-made for my wife because she always loves these, like, zombie movies, and, it's funny that you mentioned that it's more about the personal relationships just because I feel like ever since Walking Dead, that's kinda how the zombie genre has kind of evolved because, like, Walking Dead, Last of Us, pretty much all the major zombie stuff is all about, like, the human drama more than, the zombie stuff, but it's good to know that this is good.
Yeah. Very awesome there. We got actually a couple horror movies back to back. We got this one and then the Primate. Are you gonna see Primate?
Maybe. We're actually. I don't know. I kind of want. It's kind of seems like the opening scene from Nope kind of
Yeah.
elongated into a theatrical movie. The movie we're gonna see next week is actually Greenland 2 Migration because
Oh, that one? Okay.
my
Okay.
wife likes these movies and she likes Gerard Butler and you gotta
Okay.
see what the wife likes, so it'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the Greenland 2 migration. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see that too.
Right.
All right. So my next review is going to be for a film called No Other Choice. No Other Choice is a movie directed by Park Chan Wook. Park Chan Wook. People might know him. He's done such movies as Old Boy, The Housemaiden, Decision to Leave. There, he did the Vengeance trilogy there as well. Very, very famous director from South Korea there, and he's back again with his movie No Other Choice, which is getting rave reviews all across the board there, much like his movies do, and getting heavy, heavy consideration for awards. I was able to check this movie out. And what is this movie about? So you have a guy in this who actually we were speaking about Squid Games actually just a little bit earlier. This is actually one of the actors from Squid Game. He plays the villain in it there, Lee Bung Hun there, and he is a guy that is out of work. He gets fired from his job. He gets laid off because of a merger there that his company's doing. And then at first he's thinking like, okay, it'll be 3 months that I'm out of work. I can live off my severance pay. But then 3 months turns into 13 months where he's kind of without work there, and he's trying to find something, and he's trying to find another paper company to get a job at. And he's going to all these other different places. He's literally on his hands and knees begging to get a job there, until he just kind of comes to the conclusion like, I got to eventually start taking people out. If I'm going to be able to kind of get a leg up here, Some other people are going to have to be 6 feet under. And that's when he kind of is able, he kind of goes out and starts knocking people off there in order to rank up, in order to get his job back there. And what I love about this movie is that, I mean, very much like what we see sometimes with South Korean films, they're very much critique on capitalism. If people seen the Bong Joon-ho film Parasite, very much similar in that kind of sense of what people are willing to do when they are kind of pushed against the rope there, in this kind of world like this, because being you see that him having this job and him having this lifestyle is kind of very important to him, especially identifying with his masculinity, identifying with a sense of manhood there. His wife having tennis lessons, his daughter in this film, who seems to be on the spectrum of some kind. She's neurodivergent. She doesn't really talk all that much, and when she does talk, it's like repeating what someone else is saying, like the parents or somebody else. But she's very good at cello. Um, and she's a very good cellist there. And then she takes lessons. It's like paying for those lessons. And then the teacher says, like, "Well, your daughter's so advanced, I can't teach her anymore." And then eventually she needs a master cellist to teach her, and that's going to cost even more money. And she also needs a new cello, which is going to cost $50,000, and all this other stuff there. And this are just so many really great scenes of this movie in where he's kind of just breaking that down of you know being able to provide and trying to be that guy for his family, and the type of pressure that kind of puts you under. And I thought that was really amazing, and that was kind of really well done there. And when I said knocking people off, because in stuff like Parasite, it's like the people in that movie are taking people's jobs that they also need that job. So what are they going to do when they get let go? And these people that he's killing, they're in the same position he's in. They're all desperate. They're all depressed, destitute, all those things like him. And it's just like, he's killing these people who also are in kind of a similar situation, and just stepping over
Right.
them. And it's not like he's also just trying to go for this same middle manager position. Um, and this movie has the ability, because this guy, even though he's doing evil things, he's killing these kind of innocent people, you still are kind of rooting for him and to want to see him succeed in that. And it's kind of crazy that the movie's able to make you kind of feel, at least me, it made me kind of feel that. It's like, damn, I kind of want to see this dude kind of make it there.
Well, it's
Um,
interesting. It's interesting because you say, this definitely sounds like a critique on capitalism and the sort of like the mindset it puts people in, where it's the job that matters more than the life you live. And I just think this, just seeing how far that mindset kind of takes this character is really interesting, in sort of a very kind of darkly comedic drama sort of way.
Yeah, it's has the ability to be bleak and also be very funny too, in this dark comedy kind of way. And its ability to do that and balance that tone, which is also very incredibly impressive there, as well. And I love that about the movie. But yeah, I mean, Billy to kind of make you, yeah, really kind of sympathize with this guy even when he's doing the things that he's doing. I think that's a kind of amazing quality. But yeah, I absolutely really really love this movie. It'll be on my best of the year list there, for 2025. I would give it an incredibly high peak, bordering
All
on this
right.
cinema. I loved it really that much for it. Um, but yeah, I highly recommend anybody really checking this out. I was able to see it and catch it in theaters. I think it's still going to be in theaters. They're going to do maybe a re-release of it towards like middle of January, late January. Sometimes they also do that because Oscar is coming up and they want to also show the
Hmm.
movies there too as well. But wonderful cast as well with this. His wife is in this, is what the character who plays his wife there. At first you think she's kind of going to be one way, but she's kind of another way in this. And I kind of appreciated a little turn on that, of it there with it. And a lot of these women, because you see when he's kind of with another person, he's spying on him to be able to commit a murder. That his wife is kind of telling him, it's like, it's not the fact that you lost your job, it's like how you react to losing your job. Like, I still love you and I want you to get back on your feet. Like, and he can't see that, and it's ruining his marriage, and it's always this reflection and mirror of what's going on in the main character's marriage and life, of like, he's so obsessed with getting a job, which is, yes, it's important to have a job and important to provide for your family, but that's not why your family loves you. It's like, it's you
Hmm.
who they love, you know what I mean? Not just simply what you can do for them. And I think, sometimes men just generally lose sight of that, and are not really told that. Um, so I thought that was kind of a thing there, that I thought was pretty awesome. So
I definitely look forward to seeing this. I have not seen it yet, but I've loved every Park Chan-wook movie I've seen, and this definitely looks like another winner to me.
yeah, it is winner, winner, chicken dinner there. It definitely
Yes.
is. So, yeah, high peak, to strong. This is cinema there.
Oh
I
yeah.
loved it that much. So,
Yeah.
yeah, check it out. Do you think you're gonna check it out pretty soon?
Hopefully, I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but when it comes to video, I definitely will rent it if it's not available on a streaming service. Because Park Chan Wook is just he's incredible, incredible director. Like Old Boy alone is just like a masterwork, and Handmaiden and Decision to Leave before this movie were also both terrific.
Mm, yeah, I still have to see Decision to Leave. I'm gonna check that out because it's on Hulu, and I'm gonna check out Housemaid because it's on Prime.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah.
both are great movies. Both are very, very different from each other. So just get ready for a little bit of tonal whiplash, but they're both great.
Mm, yeah. All right. We're gonna get into our Oscar talk here. Nominations going to be coming up pretty soon for the Academy Awards. There, I think they dropped the nominations probably towards kind of middle January, towards tail end of January. They dropped the nominations for it. They already have the short list for a lot of awards that they're doing
Right.
with that there. But wanted to just kind of make some predictions there. What we think is who's going to be nominated, who's going to be able to, who's going to probably win there for that. Um, I know you have your list you sent me. I also have my list there as well that I'll bring up here. And did you want to do just the major awards or did you want to go through pretty much everything here?
Let's do a little bit of everything. Let's have some fun with this. And yeah, the Oscars I believe are going to be airing on March 5th on Hulu and ABC concurrently. So this will be the first time it's simulcast online, which is certainly convenient because for whatever reason I always have trouble watching the Oscars whenever it's on broadcast television. So I welcome the change. But
Yeah.
yeah, when I was thinking about I sort of did this in a if I pick the winners kind of idea, but
Mm.
I think this has been a really strong year for movies. I think there's just been a lot of really good cinema, a lot of really great art direction, a lot of great just cinematic storytelling going on this year. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my best of list from last year on my letterbox, and I think this year is better than last year. Definitely, by far there. Especially seeing a lot of other stuff like It Was Just an Accident and Sinners and No Other Choice and If I Had Legs I
Right.
Could Kick You. Yeah, really, really great stuff this year. I think, yeah. So for me, I think it was yes, better than what last year was. Yeah, for
Yeah, I'd
sure.
have to I'd have to go back and look at my 2024 list to make that determination because 2024 has Dune Part 2 and I'm I'm just a huge Dune fan, so I'm just very biased about that, but either way, great year for films, I think.
Yeah. So did you want to start from like category wise? Did you want to start with the big one, or did you want to start from like kind of like more the bottom up, or
Let's start from the bottom up.
okay.
Okay, so admittedly, I'm gonna go to the bottom of my list, and admittedly, on some of these, I'm not as familiar with the category. So if my picks are a little like, "Why'd you pick that?" I'm not super knowledgeable about this, but the first one I did was best makeup and hairstyling. I said Sinners was probably going to win this one because I think the styling of the characters once in the first half of the movie when they're getting the club together and in the back half with all the vampire stuff are both equally good and contrast each other in really interesting ways. So I thought that alone made it a really good pick for that category. And then honorable mentions, I said Wicked for Good, just because it's so theatrical and everyone has such a crazy costume and it all looks like impeccably well designed. So I thought that was worthy of a nomination. And the other honorable mention was Frankenstein, just because, aside from the creature effects, everyone in that movie has a really elaborate costume, very gothic looking character design. And I thought the makeup and hairstyling really accentuated the art style.
Yeah. For best makeup, I think it's either going to be Wicked or Frankenstein. Those are my two guesses for that. I believe there. I think they came out with their short list for it already. I think one of them was best makeup there, where they do a short list and they try to trim it down to because you can nominate 5 movies for that. I think it's 5 for each category, except for Best
Right.
Picture, which you can do 10. They doubled Best Picture thing.
Right.
Which always some years I always think like, well, we don't need 10 nominations for Best Picture because some of the years this wasn't that good. But yeah, it'd be interesting what they do here. For Best Makeup and Hairstyle, the short list is here. The Alto Nights. Was that movie with Robert De Niro?
Yeah,
That movie?
he played like 2 different gangsters, so twin roles for him.
Okay. Frankenstein, Kuho, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, The Ugly Stepsister, and Wicked for Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think if you had to trim it down to 5, Frankenstein, Wicked for Good, Sinners, One Battle After Another, and they'll probably do maybe Marty Supreme. I'm trying to think of what other
Yeah.
one. Maybe.
They always leave like a couple of those like kind of like in the hairstyling and these kind of categories, they always leave some things that aren't like the most fantastical movies just because, the makeup does a lot of the character work for you.
Yeah, I guess Smash Machine because he did all that makeup on The Rock and made him kind of look like Mark Kerr, I guess a little bit. But yeah, I
I
think it's.
I think that's a fair point for Smashing Machine.
I didn't see Ugly Stepsister. I know I've heard it. I heard it's pretty good. I didn't see it though. With that one, but it'd be cool if it got nominated. It'd be cool if it's a smaller horror film there.
Right.
Okay. Then we got Best Costume Design.
Okay.
There. Now for me, I think best costume wise there, I had Sinners.
Okay.
There I had Frankenstein. And I think those two would probably be the ones that would probably people like period pieces. Period pieces usually are pretty good there. I think Frankenstein's gonna win, right? Either that or another category, I think, as well as competing with Wicked for Good would be the 3 I think that's competing for it.
I think that's totally fair. I also said Frankenstein is probably going to win this because, like, even outside of the monster looks fantastic, but everyone has such a really outlandish gothic design, and it really sells just how elaborate this world is, and it's quite fascinating to look at. My 2 honorable mentions were Paul Tazewell for Wicked for Good, just because it's so theatrical and Broadway, and everyone just looks impeccable throughout the whole thing. And this is just a personal pick, but Judiana Markovsky for Superman. I just thought they did a really good job of translating those DC characters to life and putting new spins on those characters that they haven't seen in movies before. It's not going to win, but I just thought I'd give it a shout out.
Mm, yeah. And for the short, I don't see it on the short list for best costume design there.
Yeah, that's more of a for Neil pick more than a legitimate one.
Yeah. All right. Best original song. So this is pretty much it's going to be either Sinners or K-pop Demon Hunters. It's probably going to be. They're probably going to even have 2 songs each. Probably.
Yeah. Other movies had original songs besides K-pop Demon Hunters and Sinners this year. This is news to me.
Yeah. For on the short list here, they have let's see, original songs. So they have Tron Ares is one of them.
Okay.
Then they have Dionne Warren, Relentless. There's a movie there. Avatar Fire and Ash, F1, Billy Idol, Should Be Dead, Wicked for Good, of course, Highest to Lowest. Then another song
Okay.
from Wicked for Good, Sinners, and K-pop Demon Hunters, as we mentioned. There's also one called Train Dreams. There's Train Dreams. There's that.
Oh, the end credit song of Train Dreams. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Come See Me in the Good Light and Viva Verdil there. So, yeah. And you picked K-pop Demon Hunt Golden. You think so?
Yeah, I think this is Golden's category to lose. It's a radio hit. Everyone knows what the song is. It's one of the few times a movie song has really broken pop culture into broader pop culture since like Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. As great as like the Sinner songs are, I think this is a lock for Golden. My honorable mentions were Your Idol, also from K-pop Demon Hunters, and I Lied to You from Sinners. Both great songs, but they're not golden.
Mm. They even did that the halftime game, Snoop Dogg Christmas game, right? They did Golden. Yeah.
They did, yeah. Every time the K-pop demon, even every time Huntrix performs on something, they always gotta play Golden. So
Okay. Yeah.
it's the mascot song. What can you do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's huge, it's been blowing up bigger than what Sinners has with and people were really liking that Sinners song too. And people like, I downloaded it, I got it on my gym playlist, all that good stuff there. So I think it'll be between those 2, I Lied to You or the Golden. I have to agree, I think it's probably gonna be maybe Golden. Yeah, I think they're probably gonna maybe go with that one.
Yeah.
Best original score. You got that here. So, best original score. So on this, you have Fire. This is the short list, by the way,
Okay.
for the Academy. So you got Avatar, Fire and Ash, Begonia, Captain America: Brave New World, Dion Warren, Relentless, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Hedda, A House of Dynamite, Jay Kelly, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Sarat, there, Train Dreams, Tron Ares, Truth and Treason, Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery, and Wicked for Good. What are you
Okay.
thinking here?
I think it goes to Frankenstein. The score for Frankenstein is beautiful. It's an amazing piece of music in any context, and I keep going back to the gothic atmosphere of it, but it is just a really heart-wrenching gothic piece of music that just fits the world of that movie so perfectly that I would pick Frankenstein for this. My honorable mentions are Ludwig Göransson for Sinners, and then John Murphy and David Fleming for Superman. I think both
Mm.
of those are great scores, but Alexander Desplat's work on Frankenstein is a whole nother level.
I think they're gonna give this to Sinners. I had to go original score. I think they're gonna give this to Sinners there. I noticed they didn't nominate K-pop. Don't have that on their short list for original score. I noticed for K-pop Demons.
Yeah,
There. Oh, you
that
guys are.
that yeah, that's more of like a EDM techno soundtrack. It's not as like classically orchestral, so that might be why they left it off.
Mm. Yeah, but I think it's gonna be probably for me. I think Sinners is probably gonna take original score. I think.
Very,
Uh,
very, very worthy winner either way.
Special effects. So that's next up here. Let me see if I think they already have that here. Visual effects. So they have that on the short list here. So I think this is going to be probably Avatar, Fire and Ash. I think they're going to go with probably with this one. But they have Avatar, Fire and Ash, The Electric State, F1, Frankenstein, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Sinners, Superman, Tron Ares, Wicked for Good.
Yeah, all really good picks. My personal pick would go to Superman, just because I thought it did a really great job of selling the outlandish world that Superman lives in with all the creatures and characters in a really new and interesting way that hadn't been seen on screen with the Superman character before. And I agree, Fire and Ash is probably going to win, but we Avatar has already won special effects, so that's why I didn't really pick it for my thing. And Frankenstein just has really good special effects in general with the creature and all that. So those would be my picks.
Okay. Yeah, I think listen, if you don't if Fire Avatar Fire and Ash, you don't win best visual effects. I mean, what the hell are you doing? I mean,
Right.
like, bro, this should be your thing, man. So yeah, I think they're gonna go with that one. I think that's kind of the runaway favorite, I think, for
I mean,
just
to be fair, Fire and Ash is astounding looking. Like even three Avatar movies in, the special effects are still like genuinely impressive and special looking.
yeah. All right. Next up, we have cinematography here. So the short list here we have Ballad of a Small Player, Begonia, Die My Love, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nouvelle Vague. We have One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Sirat there, Song Sung Blue, Sound of Falling, Train Dreams, Wicked for Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So, cinematography wise, out of these choices, I think it's maybe gonna be. I'm thinking maybe One Battle After Another or Sinners. I would say. And then what did you have here? You had Train Dreams. I heard a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adolfo Veloso is the cinematographer for Train Dreams, and he just did an amazing job filming the natural world of the movie and making it really connect with the viewer and the story being told. And it's just beautiful to watch the entire time. So if it were totally up to me, I would pick Train Dreams, but Dan Laustin for Frankenstein and Autumn Arkapoff for Sinners both did great work too. So that would be my runners up.
Train Dreams did win the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Cinematography. So it did win that. This today, tonight, so it did win that.
Okay.
All right. We got Best Adapted Screenplay there. Best Adapted. I don't think they have a short list for this. Let me make sure. Let me check here
Okay.
to just make sure. But no, I don't think they have that yet. So for you, Best Adapted Screenplay, you had Frankenstein as the winner there.
Yeah, Frankenstein is one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm a big like stickler for stuff like this with Frankenstein. It's one of the best adaptations of the book I've ever seen. It gets the themes of the book totally right. It changes a couple things around, so it's not identical, but it really understands the themes, the characters, and the overall narrative of the book better than any movie I saw this year. My honorable mentions were Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, and bit of a wild card one, Mike Flanagan for Life of Chuck, just because I thought both of those screenplays were great.
Okay. Um, hmm. They might do Hamnet. They might do that one. That might be one they nominate and probably have win. Maybe I know a lot of people love Shakespeare. They love that stuff, so they might do that. I think
Right.
it's probably between Hamnet and probably One Battle After Another. I think would probably be the two that would be in between. My
I
guess.
could I could see that. I haven't seen Hamnet, but I heard it's had a great script, so I could see it.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't really love the movie. It's okay. I didn't really love it all that much. Best original screenplay. We got that.
Okay.
So best original screenplay, I'd have to agree with you there, and with Sinners, with that one. Yeah, and you want to say your honorable mentions there?
Yeah, my honorable mentions were James Sweeney for Twinless. It was a low key drama movie from a filmmaker I'd never heard of before, but it's a really effective drama, and I thought it was quite good. And then for the ultimate Neil pick, Noah Oppenheim for A House of Dynamite, because apparently nobody loves this movie as much as I do. So that's my wild card pick for original screenplay.
Let's see. I'm looking at some other lists here. That could possibly be. Oh, this person brings a point. So it was just an accident. Could also do that one, and we just reviewed that movie. I love that movie. I think that's pretty great. Sentimental Value is also an original screenplay, and I do love that movie as well. And I think that movie really has a good, strong script.
Is
I,
If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You an original screenplay?
I believe it is. Let me check to see, but I believe it is. That's also a good, strong one as well. What I would want to win is probably Sentimental Value. What I think is going to win out of the options that they're maybe going to pick, mm, I mean, they might do Centers. They might do Center, or maybe Marty Supreme. Maybe Marty
No, yeah.
Supreme might be an option. But I think yeah, it does qualify as an original screenplay here. I don't see it's based on any book or anything. So yeah, that's also a good strong script too. If I looks like kick you. But yeah. Mm. Yeah. Best international feature. You had Left Handed Girl in there. Uh,
Correct. I did not see that many international features this year, admittedly, but Left-Handed Girl is just a really great slice of life drama about a very flawed family trying to figure out how to live in a new chaotic situation. And I thought, as a film, it's great, it's tense, and it's uh, it's just a great film in general. So easy pick for me.
yeah. So I've seen Secret Agent, which is a international film. I've seen No Other Choice. I saw Left Handed Girl. We did a review of it, and I've seen It Was Just an Accident. So that's four movies. I think all of those will be nominated. Just depending on what they put in the fifth film. But I think it's really a race between It Was Just an Accident and No Other Choice. I think are two that are probably in the race. Even though Secret Agent, I'd love if that pulled it out. That's also really good too.
Right.
But I think it's really between those ones. If I had to pick, maybe, ooh, I think maybe I could see them giving it to It Was Just an Accident. I could see them doing that, especially the whole backstory of how he got that movie made. Yeah,
Right. I have a feeling they would probably award it to It Was Just an Accident, but a lot of very good films in this category, admittedly, though.
yeah. All right. So best animated film there. I don't think the anime films I really love. I mean, I wonder if they are going to nominate them. Like Chainsaw Man is one of my favorite animated movies this year, but I don't know if they'll actually nominate Chainsaw Man.
How wild would that be if you could say with a straight face that Chainsaw Man, the movie, was nominated for an Oscar? That'd be wild.
Yeah. But I know they could. I think they could do that, and I would. That's my favorite one of the year. K-pop Demon Hunt is definitely getting nominated. I wonder if Injao. You think Injao 2 has any chance of being nominated? Injao 2.
I think it probably is gonna get nominated because it's like
Yeah.
one of the highest grossing movies of the year, and it got 2 official US releases, one in its native language and one with an English dub. So I think it's gonna get nominated.
Yeah. What do you think about of course, so that's 3, and then, of course, Zootopia 2 is gonna get nominated.
Yeah, Zootopia 2, and the fifth one maybe Elio or or
Demon
the
Slayer? Could be. Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Could could be. I just have a hard time believing they're gonna nominate like a big anime property movie for this category, but it could happen. My pick would be K-pop Demon Hunters just because the animation is terrific, and even though the story's a bit, been there, done that, it's told in such a really vibrant and energetic sort of way that it really just makes the movie pop and come alive, and plus the music is outstanding, so that'd be my pick.
Mm, yeah. I think they're probably gonna do Zootopia 2. I think they're probably gonna do Zootopia. That's my guess for the winner, and, yeah, those are my guess for the nominee. Who I would want to win? I want Chainsaw Man. That's what I would wanna win. That'd be crazy. Yeah.
I'm rooting for the nomination, if nothing else, just so we can say Chainsaw Man, Oscar-nominated movie.
Yeah. So I'd root for that. But those are my what I think they're gonna add to do it for the nominations. All right. Let's see here. Then we got best supporting actress here. Okay, so you got a good pick there for best supporting actress. I was trying to think of who I'd want best supporting actress because I'm trying to think like the two performances from because there's like 3 performances in Sentimental Value that I'd nominate. Um, and I think
Okay.
maybe you'd put Elle Fanning Best Supporting, you'd put the woman Inga, Lilius, also in there, so you'd have maybe 2 spots there. Tiana Taylor's probably gonna get nominated.
Right.
Odessa Ozan, I think she's probably gonna get nominated, or maybe her, Gwyneth Paltrow,
For Marty
um,
Supreme?
for Marty Supreme, and then Wumi, Mosaku, um she's who I wanted to win, and she's who I think is gonna get nominated. I want her to win. I think it's maybe gonna be the woman from it's tough. I think, who do I think is gonna win? I could see her winning. I could see her winning Best Supporting. The woman from, Wumi, Masako for Sinners. I could see her winning.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah. She does give a great performance, and I wouldn't fault the Academy for giving it to her. My personal pick would be Amy Madigan from Weapons, just because she plays, for my money, the best film villain of the year. She's a very creepy, kind of electric performance that you can't take your eyes off of, and she is like the perfect villain for that movie, and she's one of the best parts of an already fantastic movie. My runners up would have been Shi Yuan Ma from Left-Handed Girl, who plays the teenage daughter, and Tiana Taylor from One Battle After Another. Both great performances.
Yeah. I think those are really great, yeah. Do you think Ariana Grande? I think some people say she might get nominated. I don't know. I think it's too strong of a year for her to get nominated. Honestly, I was like, I mean,
I mean, she probably will get nominated because they try to diversify the acting category, so it's not just all drama roles getting all the nominations. So I could
hmm,
I could see her and Cynthia Erivo would get nominated for Best Actress, and Ariana Grande I think would get nominated for Actress, but I could see it happening.
yeah, and it push out somebody like I hope Woomy doesn't get pushed out. I don't want to see her get in there. But yeah, Tiana Taylor, yeah, so her, yeah, but we'll see. Best supporting actor. Okay,
Oh,
best
boy.
supporting actor. So I was thinking nomination wise, Sean Penn for One Battle
Yeah.
After Another, Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. This is my rogue pick. I don't think this is gonna happen, but this is my rogue. Josh O'Connor, Wake Up Dead Man. Um,
Okay.
and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Okay, I think who's gonna end up winning? I could see maybe. I think it's going to be either one from One Battle After Another. I think it's either going to be Benicio del Toro or Sean Penn. And who did you have here? You had Mark Hamill, Life of Chuck. Okay.
Yeah, because Mark Hamill plays the grandfather in Life of Chuck, and I've loved Mark Hamill ever since Star Wars. So, but this is probably one of the best acting performances he's ever given in his career, like live action and voiceover roles. This is just an amazingly comfy and really heartwarming performance from him, and I just think it's super underrated and underappreciated. I think you're right. I think all your nominees are going to get nominated, and Sean Penn, if I had to put money on something, will probably win. But my two rogue picks would have been William H Macy from Train Dreams, who I think probably is going to get nominated, and the ultimate rogue pick for this category, James Sweeney for Twinless, who plays, the friend that tries to befriend the twin that's lost his brother. I think that role is incredibly underappreciated this year, and if it were up to me, I'd give him a nomination for that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Nice. Um. Yeah. So then we also got Best Director. Okay, this is a tough one here. So Best
No,
Director.
no
Um.
kidding. This is a tough one.
Uh. So I think, of course, Ryan Coogler's going to get nominated. Paul
Mhm.
Thomas Anderson's going to get nominated. Those I think locks for sure.
Right.
Then also Josh Safdie is probably gonna get nominated for Marty Supreme.
Mhm.
Um, then I think the woman who directed "If I Had Legs, I Can Kick You," Mary Bornstein. I think she's also gonna get nominated. I don't think her movie probably get nominated for Best Picture. And then the fifth one, mm, it's tough. Let me think. Maybe the director. I could see the director. Maybe Park Chan Wook. Maybe Park Chan Wook. Maybe the director from Sentimental Value.
Yeah, I
Mm,
could see any of those getting nominated because they're both really strong pieces. Maybe Chloe Zhao for Hamnet if they want to
yeah.
if they feel like that.
Yeah, I could see her too. Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. Yeah. But you had Ryan Coogler, Sinners, winning.
Yeah, I think Ryan Coogler is just an amazing director even before Sinners, and this is his best movie. It's one of the best horror films of recent years, and it's just got a dynamite sense of energy and like character work and just thematic storytelling. I think this is his category to lose, to be quite honest. And my honorable mentions are Paul Thomas Anderson and Guillermo del Toro, both fantastic films and directing jobs, but I think Ryan Coogler is just the once in a generation movie with Sinner, so I think he's going to win this.
Yeah, it's tough because Guillermo del Toro, also the director from It Was Just an Accident. I was just talking about that's an amazing job,
Hmm.
as well. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, so I think if they are gonna put a woman in the category, it's probably gonna be Chloe Zhao and not the director from If I Had Legs, I Could Kick You. Even though I think that's a better movie than Hamnet.
Well, and Chloe Zhao didn't Chloe Zhao win Best Director for Nomadland, or am I imagining that?
Uh, no, I think because it's still the only woman still is Catherine Bigelow, right?
Oh, you're right.
Oh no, she did win. Oh yeah, so it says she was the second of 3 women to win for Best Director. Okay, so she did win.
Who's the
Okay.
third besides Catherine Bigelow and Chloe Zhao?
I'll do that quick Google real quick, but yeah. Yeah, so I think if they are gonna do it, it's probably gonna be Chloe Zhao. Uh Best Director. Let's see, who is that? So Catherine Bigelow, Chloe Zhao, and Jane Champion for The Power of the Dog.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Great
Oh,
movie, but I totally forgot about that.
oh, that's the movie. What's that with Benedict Cumberbatch?
That was the Western where he was just the
Gay?
really mean SOB,
Oh,
mean. Yeah, he was gay, but he's just a mean son of a
yeah.
bitch to everyone. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I do. That was a movie with Kristen Dunst. She was drinking out the bottle. She was licking the.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair to Kristen Dunst in that movie, when your brother-in-law is Benedict Cumberbatch and he's like just the most miserable guy in the world, I could be driven to drink too with that.
Yeah. Okay. But you think, yeah. Who do I think is gonna win? Oh man. It's tough. I think it's probably between Paul Thomas Anderson and Ryan Coogler, I think. I think it's between them.
Yeah, I personally I think it's going to be Kugler, but if Paul Thomas Anderson wins, I wouldn't be that surprised. He did a very good job as well.
Yeah. Best actor. Let's do best actress first. Best actress in a leading role.
All right.
Who I think, so I think Jessie Buckley. I think Rose Byrne. I
Mm-hmm.
think Jessie Buckley, she was in Hamnet. Rose Byrne, she was in If I Had Legs I Could Kick You. Jennifer Lawrence, probably Die My Love.
Okay.
Probably Cynthia Erivo, maybe Wicked for Good.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fifth pick would probably be the actress from Sentimental Value, the lead actress from that. I believe her name is, let's see, Renate Rizvi. She was
Okay.
also I think she was also nominated for that movie Worst Person in the World too. She was also nominated for that.
Right. Apparently she's great in that movie too.
Yeah, and she's great in this. So those are my picks. Who I think is gonna win? I think it's probably gonna be. I mean, Jessie Buckley's got a lot of heat on her right now for Hamnet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I go with her, even though I think who would I want to win at Best Actress? Probably either Rose Byrne or the woman from Sentimental Value. Would probably be
Okay.
my pick. So what did you pick there?
My pick is actually going to be Chase Infinity from One Battle After Another, who plays Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter. I think in a movie that has incredible performance after incredible performance, she's the best actor in this movie. And it's astounding because she's like 18 years old and she's like just incredible. I think this is one of the most impressive acting performances I've seen in a long time. And I would give her the nomination and win. And for my rogue picks, I think Glenn Close does an amazing job in Wake Up Dead Man and Sophie Thatcher from Companion. It's a totally out of left field pick, but I think she does a great job with the kind of situation she's put in and has to act in really interesting and unconventional ways. So those would be my two rogue picks. But Chase
Mm,
Infinity for my book is the best actress of 2025.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think Jessie Buckley, she's got a lot of heat on her right now. Maybe she'll probably end up taking it, but I don't know. Yeah. Best actor. So what I think is Michael B. Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Chalamet, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Timothy Chalamet for Murray Supreme, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, and Wagner Moura for Secret Agent.
Okay.
Who do I think is going to win? This is another tough one. Man, I think maybe this is his year. I think they probably just give it to Chalamet. I think this is his year.
Really?
Yeah, I even though I liked him in Marty Supreme. Out of the ones that I listed, who do I think is the best? Wagner Moore is the best.
Mm,
He's the best. But I don't think he's gonna get it. So
right.
I think Chalamet might get it. But I don't know. He could surprise me. What about you? What are you thinking?
I think it's going to go to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, not just because he plays two different roles, but he plays two different roles so effectively and differently from each other. And the way he plays into the story and themes of Sinners as a movie is extremely exciting and really interesting to watch. And I think his performance is really like deceptively nuanced to me. And I think there's a lot of meat to chew on. And that would be my pick for best actor. My rogue picks. It's funny you mentioned this in the supporting actor, but I think Jacob Elordi would be my pick for best actor for Frankenstein, just because he's the co-main character of the movie, and he gives arguably the best performance in that movie. And Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams deserves a nomination. He's incredible in that movie, and like I've liked him in several movies before, but this is the best performance of his career. So give Joel Edgerton a nomination, guys, please.
Yeah. Before we get to best picture, unfortunately I haven't seen like live action short. I can't give my opinion on that one. Best
Right.
documentary, I haven't seen any documentaries this year.
I didn't put in picks for any of those because I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, so all those categories, short documentary, short film, international short film, things like that. But there is a category, best casting. That's a new category that the
Oh,
Academy is introducing this year. There. So the short list for that is Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Sarat, Weapons, Wicked for Good. If you had to think of a movie that had the best cast this year, and they said so 10 films would advance in the casting category for the 98th Academy Awards. Members of the casting director branch vote to determine shortlists and the nominees. Academy members will be invited to. Okay, I thought I was going to explain more of what the category is all about. But
oh, okay.
if you had to actually say like best cast, what would you go with?
Probably One Battle After Another because every performance in that movie is incredible, and you could list like 5 or 6 different actors from that movie that deserve Oscar nominations and well-deserved Oscar nominations. So I think pound for pound, this is the best casted film of the year. So that'd be my pick.
Out of the finalists that they gave, it might be either One Battle After Another or Sinners, maybe.
Mhm.
Mari Supreme's got a great cast too, especially a lot of like people that it's like you don't really know who they are, and they just kind of pop up, and like directors and all these kind of other people in there that do a great job.
Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank for some reason.
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. Yeah, I think it's probably between. Also, Weapons is listed here as a finalist too. Weapons.
Mm.
Um, I'd go either best cast Sinners. I'd go Sinners. Love the cast of Sinners. I'd go with Sinners.
Very worthy pick too.
All right, the big one,
Yep.
best picture. So these are 10 nominees for best picture that you do. So what I think is going to be nominated: Sinners, One
Mhm.
Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Secret Agent, Train Dreams, No Other Choice, If I Had Legs I Could Kick You, and Blue Moon. Those would be my 10 picks if they
Right.
did them. And you had so honorable mentions you had were Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Twinless, and Life of Chuck. With honorable mentions
Yes.
there. And what do you think is going to win?
I think Sinners is going to win this. I think it's a horror film that really has like transcended its genre and become a talking point in pop culture, and even beyond the excitement of the movie itself. It's just an incredibly rich movie from a thematic standpoint, from a filmmaking standpoint, and it's one of the most like deceptively clever and rich movies of the year, and I think this is going to win the big prize.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, last year kind of surprised me because if I had to guess, I guess last year I didn't guess Anora was going to win. So that kind of
Okay.
surprised me. I thought they
Right.
were going to go for more traditional pick like the Brutalist or something like that. So they might end up giving it to Sinners. Because I think between this category, I think it's between it one battle after another. Even though Marty Supreme, they could maybe sneak and give it to that. I think that's the dark horse for me. Is maybe Marty
Mhm.
Supreme. Um, man, yeah. I fuck it. I'll go with what I love. I'll go Sinners, and I
There
give
you
it to.
go. There you go.
Yeah. What do you think about the nominations? Why you have to list all the nominations? What do you think in there?
I think those are really good nominations. I just think Frankenstein's going to get a Best Picture nomination, but
Okay.
I don't really know who I would kick out though. I think Frankenstein's definitely going to be on that short list, but I just maybe Secret Agent could get kicked out, but yeah, I just think it's going to get nominated.
I can look here. Let's see what some people are predicting. For Best Picture nominees here. So they're predicting Sinners, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Frankenstein, Hamnet, The Secret Agent, One Battle After Another, No Other Choice, Train Dreams, and Marty Supreme. So that's pretty much it. Pretty, I think it's going to be pretty much all the same ones here. I wonder, so they're not going to put the big budget movie in there because usually they'll try to throw that in there, like a movie everybody's probably seen, maybe like Avatar or something.
Right. I don't think Fire and Ash is going to get nominated because they've done that trick. They've done that play before. I don't. Superman's not going to get nominated because it's just too stacked of a year. But if those were the Best Picture nominees, I don't think that would be a. I think that'd be a very worthy list of films to be considered.
Variety, they picked F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet. It was just, you said they ain't made a face F1.
Right.
I like F1. It's okay. I mean, I guess that's
Yeah.
like their big budget normie pick is F1.
I would
but
imagine
they also
F1 would be like for best special effects or something like that.
like sound. I could see it winning. It'll probably be nominated for sound or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams, Wicked for Good. I hope Wicked for Good don't get it. All this good shit out, Wicked for Good. And I think Wicked is okay, but I mean, come on.
Wicked for Good is not going to get nominated. It's the first part is way better. Sorry, but it's just the truth. It's not going to get nominated.
Yeah. Variety has One Battle After Another winning for Best Picture. They have that winning. There for that. So yeah. But pretty much, yeah, a lot of lists are pretty much predicting a lot of the same thing on those movies. This one has Begonia on it. Maybe, but you think Begonia could maybe sneak in there?
Personally, no. I love Begonia, but I just don't think it's. I think that it's too crowded of a year, and plus, Poor Things already got a ton of nominations the year that came out, and I think that's a stronger movie. Despite me loving Begonia, Poor Things is a stronger movie, so I don't think it's going to get nominated.
Yeah. So that was our Oscar 98th Oscar predictions. They went, damn, they almost on the 100th anniversary of the Oscars there. Pretty awesome there. So yeah, those were our thoughts there. Oscar picks, Oscar predictions there. Awesome there. Will you be able to join us for our Oscar cast there, or will you be busy?
Hopefully, I'll have to get back to you, but I hope I can join for sure.
Awesome. I'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Very good there. When's your next availability?
Like probably like Wednesday or Thursday this week. I can do the best films of the year list if you want to then.
Yeah, let's do that then. It's already getting pretty late. I'll do my worst stuff when you do your best of Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, let's do all that. That sounds good to me.
All right. I'll head out of here. Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you for joining me, man.
Happy to join and keep doing the good work here.
Oh, thank you. I'll go ahead and raise somebody. Where can people find you, man? What you got going on, man?
All right, everyone can find me on Threads, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, and the PlayStation Network, all at Daft Neal, DAFTNEAL. I look forward to anyone talking to me about movie opinions, game opinions. Come talk to me about how The Outer Worlds 2 is a much better game than any Fallout game since 3, and I'd love to have that discussion with everyone. So I'll see you guys on those sites.
That reminds me, do you care about Fallout Season 2? I think I need somebody to review that with.
I do. I have not seen it. Let me get back to you when it's done.
All right. Gotcha. I'll send you over to Kara Fly. She's on right now. Very awesome there. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Conan. Thank you to Chris for stopping by there. I'll be back Monday, and I'll be with Station Radio Info Maturity. We'll be doing It, Welcome to Dairy. We'll be doing Dispatch, and we'll be doing Pluribus. All right, everybody. Stay tuned. Out of here. Take care.
Catch you later. Bye.